Like I said in the last video, I'm gonna have to start doing these in the afternoon. As such, it's the afternoon, and we have to, we gotta get on reading now, don't we? I'll do one tonight as well, is the thing. Like, I'm just gonna, like, double up on these throughout the day and stuff. Question is, how many can we do? Hopefully, like, 2 or 3. Uh, anyway, for those of yous, for those of yous, fucking A. For those of you who had not seen, in the probably most of you in the comment section or in the comments of that first readings video, I mentioned that I got around to, because I was bored as fuck in class today, got around to reading the, what do they call them, Beasts of the Desert stuff over on the Wanderer's Library that we managed to get a little peek on from that first reading. It's good stuff. I recommend it highly, personally. It's really good. Sorry about the little fuzz in the audio last. Whoops. I I was looking at the other tabs, accidentally hit uh, play on one of my musics I had queued up. Let me just mute these in case I accidentally hit a button. But sorry about like the audio being a little bit fuzzy and stuff. I don't know what caused it. I think I should have fixed it, but I didn't. I honestly did not check. So we're here for some more SCP. I say as I take a sip of that thing I just drank. I was gonna mention something else too, but then I don't remember. Right. I got some better sleep today. Went to bed at 1 and woke up every hour. And then couldn't go back to bed after 6. I've been up since then. So on again, my REM sleep is fucked up, but hey, maybe SCP will fix that. I don't know. We'll see next video, which will be the same day. Honestly, whatever. Point is, I'm excited to do more of this. You know, my health is failing me, and let's get into it. This one is SCP-9000. This Place Sucks by Seek Goal. By the way, love the name Seek. Don't think I recognize names up until Local Lesbian Commie. Anyway, This Place Sucks by Seek Goal. That's gonna be hard to say quickly. Oh, 54. Ooh, Terminal. Oh my god, this is already amazing. Guys. It's a format screw. It's a format screw. Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. Oh, okay, that's just. Oof, this is already so good. I'm so excited already. Okay, so again, This Place Sucks. I can't wait. Just plugged in my laptop. Can't wait to do this one. Ooh. It loaded everything for a second and then unloaded it. You can see by the scroll bar changing. Anyway, if you guys don't know what format screws are, they are files that, well, screw with the format. As opposed to the typical, as I fix my hoodie drawstrings, as opposed to the typical formats as we have been reading so far with, item number, key, object class, special procedures, description, all that. This one's stylized after a fucking terminal. This'll be good. Wonder how long it'll keep at that. From James Donovan at SCP Internal to A. Blaine 98 at SCP Internal. Subject: New assignment. Adrian, I'm forwarding you a task from Site Administration. As part of an ongoing audit of older records, I need someone to review a series of documents in Archival Room C. The goal is to identify any inconsistencies, irregularities, or misdetails where files are transferred and digitized. Due to the nature of these files, it is important that the review is thorough. Given your aptitude for detailed analysis, I'm assigning this to you personally. My apologies for giving you this type of work again, but I trust you to handle it carefully and completely. Please work through the attached list of documents. Though these are older records, they contain important information. Ensure nothing is overlooked. If something comes up, submit your findings directly to me. James Donovan, Director of Site-149. Secure, Contain, Protect. This promises to be a PDF. Document list.pdf. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Ooh. Oh. Okay, this is weird. 54, and then... Okay, so it's still... Well, of course it is, just... 3148, 8432. Okay, so the files in the background are different. I don't recognize the numbers. Uh, Classification level 2 restricted, source containment incident archive site blank, date file 2024 1215, subject SCP blank containment alarm routine check. Summary: historical documentation and minor containment alarm activations, review conducted to verify correct procedural response, confirm absence of breaches, and ensure all logs are complete and consistent with prior incidents. Incident details. I won't read all of this because it's just background stuff, but I don't see anything. I'm gonna like scan through it just to see if anything comes to mind or anything like jumps out as anomalous. I used to enjoy this. The quiet, the focus, it felt like it mattered. Like I was actually making a difference. Maybe I even believed that at the time. Now it just feels empty, hollow, repetitive. Uh, a Bop It toy. Ooh, a incident log or like a weeks, months, years, it all blends together. The words start to lose meaning. Same walls of text, whether printed or on a screen. I've done this 1,000 times, searching databases, cataloging specimens, analyzing procedures. Different files, different boxes, different shelves, same work. Humidity, atmosphere. Okay, this is environment stuff. Ooh, recognize the number. This is what I do best. I catch the mistakes, the little gaps no one else notices. That's why it keeps coming back to me. Every now and then, there's a file that actually makes me feel useful. Not flashy, not exciting, but different. Just enough to remind me it matters. Something that makes me enjoy the process, and then it's gone. And I'm back here, same as always. Don't recognize the number. It's like an experiment log, interesting. File after file, page after page, I still keep going. Somebody has to. Maybe one day it'll add up to something. Believe it or not, I don't know this number, that which does not exist yet. Don't recognize the number. HC, that's weird. Sticky note stating this place sucks. Head true. Wonder if... Because the sticky note is also a clicky link somehow. Think it's the same one though. Yeah. Just making sure I grabbed everything here. Take a sip. Bright white. Let me turn down my brightness. Warning. Restricted access. This document is classified. Unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. Authorization may be granted only by researcher Adrian Blaine. Proceeding beyond this point may result in unknown and possibly irreversible consequences. Continue at your own risk. No further warnings will be issued. I proceed. Hey, back to the format. Interesting. Notice, reader advisory. If you are reading this document, it is assumed you've been exposed to SCP-9000's infohazardous effect and have approximately 5 minutes before a teleportation event occurs. Is that saying I have 5 minutes to read the file? To maximize chances of survival, it's strongly recommended that you stop reading this document beyond this notice and try to acquire the following items to the best of your ability. GPS locator or any device capable of transmitting your location. I guess that would be my laptop is fine. Sufficient food and drinkable water for at least 72 hours. Well, I don't need to eat and I have a bunch of bottles of water. Appropriate clothing and travel gear for open environments, both cold and warm. Not really. A life jacket? Nope. Or any other portable water fluoridation device. A flashlight or any other portable source of light. I don't got my phone on me, so that's a no too. These precautions significantly increase the likelihood of survival. Stay calm, prepare for imminent displacement to a potentially hazardous location. Contact Foundation recovery teams as soon as possible. Love this start, by the way. In the nature of a successful contact with the Foundation recovery team, under no circumstances should you attempt to explain the nature of your displacement or why you require assistance to rescue personnel. Any such explanations may result in additional teleportation events. I like this already. Okay. We even have risk classifications, or like the classification system, the new one. New to me. Item number SCP-9000. Level 4 secret. Containment class Euclid. Disruption class Kennick. Risk class Warning. No other pertinent information as per this little There's a link to a memo. Is it saying? Yeah. Classification system, anomaly classification system, ACS. I love it. Special container procedures. SCP-9000 is stored in a standard issue locker at Site-149. Access requires direct authorization from researcher Adrian Blaine. Unauthorized discussion or sharing of any information about SCP-9000 is strictly prohibited. An automated monitoring system is in place to scour the internet, digital networks, and SkipNet for any unauthorized mentions of SCP-9000. Any such instances will be immediately removed or replaced with non-anomalous content to prevent accidental exposure. Due to the nature of the anomaly, all operations of the automated system cannot be monitored or interfaced with by human personnel. All testing involving SCP-9000 must receive prior approval from researcher Adrian Blaine. My mouth is fucking always got saliva and it makes my like words feel hard to say. Description: SCP-9000 is a single yellow sticky note measuring approximately 5 by 5 centimeters. This note has a message handwritten with black marker, "This place sucks," along with an illustration of a frowning face. Physical examination reveals no anomalous properties. The means by which the anomaly functions remains unknown. SCP-9000 has two distinct activation mechanisms that trigger its effect: perceiving the physical note through any sensory means, and learning new information about the object or its workings. Affected individuals undergo a delayed teleportation event approximately 5 minutes after exposure. This event involuntarily transports the subject to a random location on the Earth's surface. Any attempt to stop the teleportation effect have been unsuccessful. If you are still reading this, it's already too late. Hope you get teleported somewhere safe. Addendum A, Discovery Log. SCP-9000 was first discovered on 25-7-16 by research, so that is July 16, 2025. Yeah. By researcher Adrian Blaine as he was working at Site-149. Following is a transcription of security camera footage at Site-149's Archival Room C, showing the initial encounter with the anomaly. Camera footage, Archive Room C. 0822. Researcher Blaine enters the archival room. 0824. Researcher Blaine starts looking through document boxes on a storage rack within the west corner of the room. 0828. Researcher Blaine pulls out a box and takes it to a desk located on the north side of the room. Note: due to the distance of the camera from the desk, it is unable to perceive many details from the footage from this point onwards. 0828. Researcher Blaine sits down at the desk. He sinks into the chair, staring at the ceiling in silence. He stays in position for 13 minutes. 0841. Blaine sighs, sits up straight, opens a file, and begins reading. He repeats this process with several documents. Nothing of note happens for approximately 4 hours, cut for brevity. 1237. Researcher Blaine picks another document from the box and starts reading it. 1243. Researcher Blaine audibly chuckles to himself and comments, "True." 1248. As researcher Blaine continues reading the document, he suddenly vanishes from the room. I already fucking like it. Researcher Blaine's disappearance remained unnoticed until he contacted the found. Oh, that's actually so sad. Oh, look at that! I was. Oh my god, this is awesome. I'm scrolling down because it's fun. Oh my god, this is so cool. Oh, I love this already. This is. Ooh, they went the extra mile for this one. Seek a goal? I love it. Oh, let me take some water. Oh, how exciting. Will that happen every 5 minutes? Or is it because I scrolled to a certain point? Researcher Blaine's disappearance remained unnoticed. Was it offset 2? Was it supposed to be offset 2 or supposed to be offset 1? Ah, fucking paranoid. Uh, Researcher Blaine's disappearance remained unnoticed until he contacted the Foundation recovery team for sent. Actually, I can check if it's because I hit a certain point in time, I think. Offset 1. Let's scroll up. Proceed. Let's scroll down. Okay, so it's not based on how far you get. It is indeed based on a period of time. Oh my god, that's so fun. I'm burning time though. Posting here. That's sad to note right there. Until he contacted the Foundation recovery team from San Diego, California, using his personal cell phone approximately 1 hour after the event. He was recovered and brought back to the site the same day via a flight arranged by Director James Donovan. Researcher Blaine was questioned by the site director following his return to Site 149. Following is a transcription of the meeting within the director's office. Debrief, director's office. Researcher Blaine enters the office. Blaine. Evening, sir. Donovan. Evening, Adrian. Take a seat. Blaine obliges. I already like the word choice he used here. Donovan. I've heard you finally took a vacation. Blaine. Oh, yeah, felt great when on company time. They both laugh. Donovan. I can imagine. Flight back treat you alright? Blaine. It was great, thank you for that. Director Donovan leans back into his chair. Donovan. So then, what happened, son? Oh, they're close. Blaine. I don't really know. Director Donovan remains silent, waiting. Blaine. Nothing out of the ordinary, anyway. I was going through files in Archive C, then the next thing I knew, I was in an alley. No warning, nothing. Donovan. You been checked out by medical? Blaine. Yeah, I'm all good. Donovan. Good to hear. Blaine. Well, aside from landing on my ass, teleportation didn't change my body position. Director Donovan chuckles. Blaine. Could I ask... Ugh. Sorry. Could I ask, anything in the site that could have caused this? Donovan, nothing that I know of. Something new. Better to assume it's here until proven otherwise. I'll put someone on it. Blaine. Did I do it, sir? Director Donovan stays quiet for a bit. Transcription used the word bit. That's funny to me. Donovan. You know, a fresh anomaly isn't all field work. It's reports, procedures, cross-checks, paperwork. And last I checked, that's not your favorite job. Blaine. Still isn't. Donovan. Why offer then? Blaine. I guess it just, intrigued me. It's more interesting than reading through files all day. Donovan. You'll still finish what you start afterwards. Those records matter. No running from assignments. Blaine. I know. Donovan. So you're fine with taking on additional work again? Blaine. Yeah, I can manage. Donovan. Alright. You never let me down before. I'll give you a shot. Blaine. Hey, thank you, sir. Donovan. Just stay careful. Blaine. Of course. Donovan. And Adrian, keep the records clean. Minimize the slip-ups. Blaine. Right, I'll do my best. Researcher Blaine gets up from the chair and nods at the director and leaves the room. Addendum B. Research log. Following are a series of transcriptions of recordings made by researcher Adrian Blaine to document his efforts in the following days. Recording 9K-1. The recording starts. The mounted camera is facing the north side of the archival room C. Researcher Adrian Blaine is standing in front of the camera, pulling his hand from behind it. He walks a few steps back and takes position at the center of the frame. Only Blaine is here, so I'm not going to bother saying Blaine every time. Okay, so, after a few seconds of standing quietly, he turns away from the camera and starts pacing around the camera's field of view. After a short time, he stops, checks his watch, and positions himself in front of the camera once more. It is currently 17th of July, 2025. Time is 8:40. I'm researcher Adrian Blaine, working at Site 149. Yesterday, I was subjected to an involuntary teleportation when I was transported from Archival Room C to an alley in San Diego. I have been tasked with learning any information about this event by the director. For my first test, I will be carefully looking through this room in an attempt to spot anything out of the ordinary. He walks out of frame. I decided to repair some equipment, just 2 things, but they'll help. He walks back into frame holding a small camera with a strap in his right hand and a little square device in his left. I have a buddy camera. This is essential for documentation. It will ensure that any future teleportation events are captured on video. I also have a GPS locator. With the press of a button, I can almost instantly start transmitting my location to the Foundation. Hopefully, a recovery team will come get me afterwards. He pauses. Alright, let's start. He walks behind the camera again, the recording stops. Recording 9K-2. The recording starts to a view of the archival room from the north wall. The footage comes from the body camera, strapped to researcher Blaine's chest. His right hand comes into frame, giving a thumbs up. Beginning search. Researcher Blaine begins his search. He diligently examines the entire archive. During his search, the microphone picks up multiple instances of him singing and talking to himself. Aw, that's cute. Cut for brevity. After 1 hour and 53 minutes, Researcher Blaine finishes his task and returns to the north side of the room. It is currently 10:34. I have finished my search without finding anything of note. He pauses. Next, I will sit in the same chair as I was using during the previous teleportation event for the same duration, to see if the event occurs again. He sits down in the chair, proceeding to stay there for approximately 3 hours and 30 minutes. Nothing of note happens during this time. Cut for brevity. Afterwards, he gets up and starts pacing around the north side of the room. It is currently 14:02. I continued my test for 30 minutes longer just to be safe. The test failed to provide any results. Arguably, it. Sorry, this is me out of universe. Arguably, that did provide a result as it's helping you narrow down what caused the anomaly. Just like kind of how I would have if this shit happened to me. I was like, okay, that's still data. It's not much, but it is data, right? I feel like a dick whenever I say stuff like that. It's whenever I do stuff like that, please know it's just because I'm really into the story. Next, I will reenact the exact movements I made the day of the teleportation event, except backwards. If successful, this should pinpoint the cause of the teleportation. He walks closer to the table, document laying open in the middle. Researcher Blaine begins reading it backwards. After turning to the previous page, SCP-9000 appears attached to it. He continues reading the page for approximately 5 more minutes before being instantaneously teleported. Blaine flinches slightly upon teleportation. No, he didn't sit down. Okay. Let me turn up my brightness. Ready. Researcher Blaine turns around, revealing his surroundings. He is standing in a grassy clearing surrounded by coniferous trees. The sky is clear, the moon and stars visible overhead. A small stream is flowing nearby. Nothing further of note is visible. Still frame, body camera footage. It is a very pretty scene, showing, well, what is described. A little dark, but it's nice. Once again, it's just Blaine here. I have been successfully teleported into a forest. It's the middle of the night, so I'm unable to see much. No distinguishable landmarks anywhere. He pauses and takes a long breath. It's actually pretty cold here. Not enough for me to be concerned, but I'm definitely not dressed properly. He starts slowly walking through the field. The coniferous forest and the cold suggest him somewhere quite north, and the fact that it's night points to the eastern hemisphere. He stays quiet for a bit. Baltics or Russia, maybe? Somewhere in that area, I would imagine. I suppose I'll know when rescue arrives. He brings out the GPS locator and activates it. Afterwards, he stops walking around and sits down on the grass. It's quite serene here, actually. Blaine falls silent for a couple minutes. The note. He pauses. I was on the page with the note again. He's a pacer. Oh my... Oh, fuck. Just like me. He stands up and starts to pace around again. If it was the document itself, why didn't it teleport me as soon as I started reading it? Unless teleportation time is random, but it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. The note seems logical. Researcher Blaine continues pacing around the area for a few minutes. Afterwards, he is subjected to another teleportation. That's even I was like, forgot that for a second. He learned more about the anomaly. And oh, fuck, it's so good. Afterwards, he is subject to another sudden teleportation. The scenery of the forest is replaced by mountain range. Oh, shit! He quickly looks around himself. He's standing on a grassy rise covered in rocks and boulders surrounded by similar hills. In the distance, the terrain becomes increasingly rugged and mountainous. The area is dark, with the only visible light coming from a small cluster of buildings in a nearby valley. The microphone starts crackling from the wind. Oh, and we teleported with the first time, because it's presumably the first time we were reading it. Oh, that's why we're not being teleported again. Oh, that's good, because it told us up front it's the note. It told us everything up front. That's really smart. Oh my god, that's amazing. The area is dark, with the only visible light coming from a small cluster of buildings in a nearby. Can you hear my smile? In a nearby valley, the microphone starts crackling from the wind. Yet another pretty picture. I have no idea why, but I'm teleported again. He falls silent for a moment, breathing heavily. I'm on top of some mountain. It's windy and colder here than the previous location. Way colder, actually. Microphone distorts as winds. Ugh. Ugh. As winds repeatedly pick up and calm down, Blaine brings the GPS locator into frame briefly again. I'm burping because I ate recently, and my body fucking hates getting any nutrition in it. You know how it goes, eating disorder and all. Never fun, never fun. Anyway. Okay, the locator is working fine. The recovery team will come. Just sit tight. That could take hours. He rubs his arm. It's fucking cold. He starts carefully walking around the peak for a few minutes, looking around the area. Nowhere to hunker down here, just rocks. He stops and falls silent for a bit. His lightly ragged breaths are muted by the microphone crackling in the wind. Fuck. I won't last here until rescue. I have to get somewhere warmer. He brings his phone into... Oh, no. He brings his phone into frame, turning on the flashlight. The beam illuminates the patches of grass and stone in front of him. The hill doesn't seem that steep. I think I can get down. That's my best bet. Wish me luck. Researcher Blaine slowly scales down the peak until he reaches a destination approximately 2 hours later. Cut for brevity. Note: Researcher Blaine was able to contact a Foundation recovery team through his GPS locator. After roughly 6 hours, he was rescued by an available recovery team spearheaded by Field Agent Mahavir Khanna in Lhasa, China. Afterwards, he was flown back to the United States of America. He returned to Site 149 on 25/7/19, or July 19, 2025. When did he start this? The 17th. Okay, it took him 2 days to get back. Since that first recording, anyway. Oh my, this is already really, really fun, right? This is really, really fun. I quite like it a lot. Recording 9000-3, sorry. 3,000 multiplied by 3 dash 3. So really I was right. Whatever. The recording begins. The mountain camera is facing the north side of our cable room C. Researcher Blaine walks to the center frame with a soft grin on his face. Today is the 19th of July, 2025. Time is 8:11. The last test was a success. I started reading the last file I read in the initial event, began from the last page I touched to start in great detail. Test took approximately 7 minutes. Teleportation event occurred when I was reading through the sticky note page. Oh, right, I apologize. I forgot to mention here. He sighs and rubs his fingers on his eyebrows. There is a sticky note stuck to one of the pages in the file. I was reading through that page when the event happened, came to the conclusion that the sticky note is the anomaly causing these teleportations, and not the file itself. As both teleportation events took place when I was reading the page with it, or shortly after, it seems like the most logical conclusion. The body camera captured the whole ordeal. I suggest you watch the previous recording to get the full picture if you haven't already. There was an additional teleportation event, which resulted in me having to trek down a mountain in Tibet. Not much happened afterwards. The recovery team took a couple of hours to arrive. Nice guys, had a chat with... Sorry, I got carried away. I love this character. He glances towards the table. Right. So next I will test if I am right. By looking only at the sticky note for a couple of minutes, I'm a bit worried about the additional teleportation that happened previously, though. My theory is that it's adding more based on how many times I've been teleporting previously. If I'm correct, I should be teleported 3 times during this test. See, that was where my thoughts would have went to immediately. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, it, am I easy to please? Well, I know I am, but am I too easy to please? Oh man, this is a great article. Okay, let's get this going. He walks behind the camera and the view cuts. The recording resumes from Blaine's body camera strapped to his chest. His right hand comes into frame again, giving a thumbs up. Ah, adorable. The camera is on and we're ready to go. It's 8:29, beginning test. He walks sideways to the table, deliberately avoiding facing the file with the sticky note. After a deep breath, he turns and stands still, facing the sticky note. After a few minutes, in an instant, the scene switches from a cramped room to a vast open desert. Okay, alright. He claps once and chuckles. It seems my conclusion was indeed correct. This also confirms teleportation event is delayed approximately, his left hand is raised into frame, showing his watch. 5 minutes from initial exposure. Researcher Blaine begins to look around. The entire landscape around him consists of only sand dunes. Sky above is clear with sun shining, heating up the still waves of sand below. This is a beautiful picture as well. Wonder where you got him. And looks like the middle of nowhere again. Ah, damn, it's ridiculously hot here. He tries to walk around, but the sand shifting underfoot makes it hard for him to stay upright. He stumbles multiple times before giving up and sitting down. Great, now I got sand in my shoes. He sits quietly for a moment, trying to brush himself off. Not long after, the wind picks up, sweeping grains of sand into his face. Oh, for fuck's sake! By the way, I just remembered. Try to keep the files clean or whatever you said earlier. Like, yeah, when you're researching, don't like be improper swearing all the fucking time. Okay, I suppose I should wait to see if any additional teleportations happen this time. After roughly 3 minutes of sitting around silently and occasionally checking his watch, Blaine is teleported again, falling backwards into a body of water. Camera sinks below the surface, showing the chaotic flurry of bubbles. After some time, researcher Blaine begins to bring it above water level, pointing it straight at him, struggling to keep afloat, panting, Shit, I'm not the best swimmer. His head is getting splashed by small but constant waves. The camera is shaking in his hand as he's trying to regain composure. I can't see anything except water. I think I'm in the fucking ocean. At least the water's warm enough, that's good. He steadies his hand enough to trace a full circle around him, showing his surroundings. Nothing can be seen except the rolling waves flowing calmly with the breeze and the sunlight refracting on the surface. Yet another pretty picture. Uh, I'm also not the strongest swimmer, but I do know how to swim. I did. Reader fun fact. I don't think I've ever told this. I had to learn to swim twice. I learned the first time. My aunts taught me. Love them. And I wasn't the strongest. I was a kid, right? And they taught me how to swim when I was young. I just never needed to swim for another few years, and then promptly forgot. Needed to be retaught from like the floating all the way, and now I'm kind of okay-ish, maybe. The same thing happened with ride. You know how people say you never forget how to ride a bike. You can forget how to ride a bike. I forgot how to ride a bike, and also, given that I rode a bike to school for 3 years, I'm also now unable to ride a bike without weight on my back. Well, I can. It's just really I feel ungainly. I can do it though, but I just prefer with weight. Plain. I didn't expect this. Until now, the anomalies alone teleported me onto land. If it could really send me anywhere on Earth all this time, the fact that I ended up in water until now means I've been really damn lucky. I wonder if he'll end up like in a cave or something next, because he was on a mountain. He stays silent for a couple seconds, slowing down his breathing. There should be one more teleportation, but if I get teleported again, it drops me into the water. Shit, the rescue could take hours. That would kill me. He glances at his watch, his arms shaking with increasingly frantic breaths, his voice shaking. Come on, please be anywhere but water. He quiets down, breathing heavily for about 3 minutes, constantly checking his watch. 5 minutes have gone by. He falls silent for a moment, bringing out his GPS locator and activating it. Okay, Adrian, keep calm and conserve energy. So that's an interesting note. He learned that he wasn't teleported, and then got teleported anyway, which probably like I don't know. That's fun. Or maybe it is logarithmic. Well, it wouldn't be logarithmic. It'd be what would it be? I guess additive. Less than a minute later, researcher plane is subjected to another teleportation. He landed on a dirt-covered surface and let out a groan, ran on his back, laughing. Thank fuck. After he catches his breath, he sits up and finds himself on a road in an urban area. Constant hum of scooters, motorbikes, and heavy traffic driving along a narrow road fills the street. Area around him is surrounded by low-rise buildings filled with shops and covered in signage written mainly in Telugu and some English. But locals ugh, are moving through the street and filling the shops. Few of them glance at researcher Blaine as he catches their sight. Interesting. Figured it would also get him somewhere urban. Shame. Urban sprawls are not as pretty as natural landscapes. Anyway, researcher Blaine was found and covered in a small town near Hyderabad, India. The recovery team, spearheaded by field agent Mahavir Khanna, arrived at his location after approximately 4 hours after the activation of GPS locator. Camera continued recording during his time. Cut for brevity. Agent Khanna made contact with Blaine at 22:48 local time. Remainder of the footage has been archived as Incident Log 9001. Oh, they have a little Addendum C Incident Log, Incident 9000-1. Camera footage documents the attempted recovery of researcher Blaine from India. During the operation, field agent Mahavir Khanna, who was spearheading the recovery, disappeared as a result of 9000 info-hazardous properties. That's that's so funny. The following transcript has been preserved as a record of the event. Researcher Blaine is sitting down next to a tree near the road, the camera capturing the urban scene in front. He is approached by a man who looks to be in his early 40s. The man is well built, with slick hair and a full beard, wears plain civilian clothes and tactical boots. Civvy clothes. Tack boots. Kana. Well, well, Mr. Blaine. Didn't expect to see you again so soon. Blaine quickly stands up. Blaine. Agent Kana? I suppose you're my pickup again? Kana. That's right. Kana offers a firm handshake. That's a good handshake, which Blaine accepts. Blaine. I take it this isn't a coincidence? Kana. Hardly. I don't get the opportunity to rescue the same standard researcher twice in 1 week often. Blaine. I can imagine. Kana. Besides, I'd be a fool to turn down such an easy job. Blaine chuckles. Kana. All right, Mr. Blaine, let's get you home. Agent Connor starts to walk towards the street, signaling for researcher Blaine to follow him, which he does. They walk along the road. Connor effortlessly weaves through groups of people socializing outside, while Blaine struggles to keep up. I'm a little rat creature moving through crowds. I'll go through any crevice. Groups be damned. Uh, Shortly after, they walk off the main road onto a dirt path leading onto a clearing with the helicopter perched on top. Upon arrival, Kana slides open the door and throws an inviting gesture to Blaine. Hop on, Mr. Blaine. Blaine obliges. Kana following right after, closing the door behind. He points towards the cockpit, showing two men inside. Mr. Blaine, meet today's pilots, Arjun and Ravi. I hope he doesn't say something to a pilot. They turn back towards the cabin and give Blaine a nod, immediately return their sights back to their instruments. Kana, buckle up, we got nothing to wait on. Kana gestures to a nearby seat. Blaine sits down and straps himself down. Kana does the same. I would put in there because same sentence. It feels weird flowing. Kana does the same on the opposite side of him. Not long after, the helicopter jolts into life, the sound of the rotor blades growing louder with each second. I love the kind of almost, not actually, but like kind of almost informal with the way it's like more conversational, these notes and addendums and stuff. It's nice. Researcher Blaine was transported via helicopter to New Delhi, where he was to spend the night at a local site. He was to be flown to the United States as soon as flight was arranged the following day. The camera continued recording during approximately 4-hour helicopter flight, cut for brevity. After landing in New Delhi, Field Agent Kana was tasked with escorting researcher Adrian Blaine to the site. As the rotor blades quiet down, both Kana and Blaine get up from their seats and head for the doors. Kana nods at the pilots, and they return the gesture while he and Blaine exit the helicopter. Helicopter. Ugh. 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 It's passed. Nice. Kana. Thanks, boys. As they both step onto the dark helipad, they're greeted by the thousands of lights shining from the metropolis. Blaine, we're not at the site yet? Kana, no, our site's hidden within the city. There's no air access unless it's an emergency. Blaine, never heard of that before. Kana, that's the point. We best get going. It's quite a walk away. Blaine, all right, lead the way. The duo leaves the helipad and enters the busy urban streets of New Delhi. They walk in silence for a couple minutes, listening to the liveliness of the city. Kana, first time in India? Blaine, oh yes, never been before. Kana, I see. First impressions? Blaine, maybe ask me after a visit properly. Kana, this is not a proper visit? Blaine, not really. Can't say it was planned. Kana, stay silent for a moment. Kana, I have to ask, what's up with you showing up stranded? Blaine, oh, right. Yeah, I'm researching an anomaly I recently discovered. Sticky note, funny enough. Randomly teleports after you look at it. Kana, I suggest you stop looking at it then. Blaine chuckles. Blaine, well, the job says I can't. I've been teleported 6 times this week, actually. Kana, teleport around the world? Sounds like vacation. Blaine, so I've heard, although I don't spend much time at each location. Kana, better something than nothing. I don't get much vacation in the Foundation. Blaine, that's true. No, not like I asked for it anyway. Kana, the workaholic type. Blaine, yeah, not as much as I used to be. Kana, burnout. Blaine, I suppose. Sitting at the computer terminal or digging through files constantly gets boring quick. Getting a job like this is what I do it for. Actually getting to work with an anomaly. The research and the testing and knowing all this will have an impact afterwards. Kana, yeah, I get that. Worked in a textile factory when I was young. Very boring, monotonous work. Felt like I was just wasting away. Blaine, what about now? You like what you do? Kana, I do. It's not perfect and it's pretty dangerous, but it suits me. It's all I know after 20 years. Blaine, 20 years? God damn. Field agents don't usually last that long. Kana, well, I suppose luck is on my side. Blaine chuckles. You better not kill Kana. I like him. Blaine chuckles. Blaine, must be some luck. Is it worth the pay at least? Kana, can't complain. Helps you provide. That's what matters. Blaine, oh, kids? Kana, oh no. No such thing for a field agent. I take care of my mother and father. They took care of me, so I'm returning the favor. Blaine, that's admirable. Kana, what about you? Any kids? Blaine, me? No. Uh, ever since joining, I've been buried in my work. Not really time for anything else. Kana, shame. Blaine, it is what it is. I knew there would be sacrifice when I joined the Foundation. Felt it was worth it. Looking to make a difference in the world. Kana, it's admirable. Silence between them for a few seconds. Kana, well, there's still time. What are you, 30? Blaine, 27. Kana, already a researcher. Blaine, yeah, started young, 23. Director recruited me when I finished my master's. That's the master's, huh? Kana, impressive. Most people at that age are still figuring out what to do with themselves. Man, fuck y'all. I'm get every article is kicking me in the ribs. Blaine chuckles. Guess I skipped that part. Kana, doesn't have to be a bad thing if you enjoy what you do. Blaine, Not sure I'd call it enjoyable most of the time. Fulfilling? Maybe. Kinda. That's more than most people can say about their jobs. Blaine, I guess that's true. I love their comment. They're really this conversation's nice. Kinda. I'm sure you'll figure something out, Mr. Blaine. Blaine. You can call me Adrian. Kinda. Then you can call me Mahavir. They both fall silent for a moment, continuing to walk through the daily streets. Blaine, tell me, you got some good food at the site? I'm starting to get really hungry. As good as site cafeteria food can be. You can get food on the way if you like. There's a decent place. Mahavir kinda disappears in an instant. Researcher Blaine stops and stands still. Mahavir? He falls silent for a few seconds, unmoving. I'm not gonna scream, but it's all caps. Mahavir? He begins to hyperventilate, slowly pacing up and down the street. Oh my god, it's an info hazard. That's why. Fuck. Shouldn't just tell people shit like that, Adrian. For fuck's sake. He sits down on the ground. Oh my god, it's because of me, because I fucking told him. I'm silent, still heavily breathing. Faint sniffling can be heard. After a few minutes, the bustling streets replay with calm silence. What the fuck? What? Why? Researcher Blaine stands up and looks around. He's shown to be standing on a rocky ledge blanketed with snow. Horizon around him is broken up by the jagged peaks and mountains, all covered in snow as well. Yet another beautiful photo. Oh no, 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 no. Fuck. Researcher Blaine's breaths become shallow and increasingly staggered. The GPS locator is brought into frame. He turns it on and stands there, scanning his surroundings. After a few minutes, he slowly sits down. He sits in silence for a few minutes. As time passes, he starts to shiver, and his breaths continuously grow more staggered and shallow. Shame there's no trees you could burrow beneath one. Okay, he can get out of this. Focus a bit. Quiets down for several seconds. There must be another activation mechanism. I know it's an info hazard, but it isn't constantly teleporting me around, even though I've been aware of its existence all this time. There has to be another reason for the chain teleportations as well, since I'm not teleporting 4 times. Teleported to the forest clearing, looked around, did nothing, teleported out. Teleported to the desert, looked around, sat down, did nothing, teleported out. Teleported to the water, swam, looked around, did nothing, teleported out. It cannot be looking around since I looked around here as well, so I have to have been doing something else. I was thinking about the teleportations, about the tests, but I did that every time. He stands up, starts pacing for 3 minutes. Afterwards, stops and starts laughing. It teleports people when they learn new information about it. Yes, that must be it. He claps a couple of times excitedly. Oh, he claps when he's excited? I don't do that so often. I had a teacher that did once. That's cute. You better teleport me in 5 minutes, motherfucker. I found you. I know how you work. You literally fact-checked me when you teleported me, you dumbass. What a stupid fucking info hazard you are. You confirm my discoveries with your fact. Holy fuck. This guy's awesome. Researcher Blaine continues mocking the anomaly and celebrating for several minutes before calming down. He resumes pacing until a next teleportation event cut for brevity. Researcher Adrian Blaine was later found recovered in Ribeiro Preto. Ribeiro Preto, Brazil. Portuguese, I don't fucking get you. I was gonna make a note and then I forgot what it was. Wait. I would have never guessed this myself. Again, not demolishing the story, really, really into it. After his recovery and return to the United States on 25/07/21, or July 21st, 2025, researcher Blaine did not undergo the standard operational debriefing. Instead, he proceeded directly to Director James Donovan's office without prior appointment. Is he going to explain it? Security personnel allowed entry after Blaine insisted on the urgency of the matter. Following exchange recorded within the director's office. The office door opens abruptly. Researcher Blaine enters the office. Director Donovan looks up from his desk surprised. What? Adrian? Blaine. Mr. Donovan, I need you to start a search for Mahavir Khanna as soon as possible. He's a field agent and... Donovan, hold it. Slow down, son. Don't forget, I'm still your superior. You don't get to storm my office barking orders. Blaine. You're right. I'm sorry, but time is very crucial here. Every second could cost his life. Please. Director Donovan stays quiet for a few seconds. Donovan, where should we search? Blaine. I don't know. Anywhere? Everywhere? Donovan, anywhere? You expect to scour the earth? Blaine, no, of course not. No water. If we still alive, it would have to be on land. Donovan, oh, that narrows it down real nice. Understand what such an operation would entail? Why should I? Because it's my fault! Sorry, that was Blaine. Both remain silent for a few seconds. Blaine, please, sir, I can't let him die. Only you can approve something like this. Director Donovan lets out a sigh, leans into his chair. Donovan, look, son, I'm going to need more information about the situation. What happened? Blaine stays silent for a moment. Blaine, I can't say, sir. Donovan, can't say? I am really trying to work with you here. You aren't making it easy for me. Blaine, I'm sorry. I will not say anything about the research. I can't, not even to you. Donovan, are you fucking with me, son? Blaine, no, sir. Donovan, sir, withhold information from the director. Blaine, I assure you, I have a good reason for this. Director Donovan scoffs and remains silent for a moment. Donovan, you screwed up, Adrian, big time. Missing field agents, no small matter. Ethics committee will have to get involved. Careers end over things like this or worse. Blaine, we don't know if he's dead yet. There's still a chance he's somewhere on land. Therefore, areas far from civilization should pose the biggest danger. If we search those first, with the focus on deserts, and... Donovan, Adrian? Director Donovan stares quietly at Blaine. I'm sorry. Blaine stands in silence for a moment, before passing Director Donovan a document. Blaine, I also have this for you. Donovan, what's this? He starts flipping through the file. A submission. I'm requesting to become the sole authority on the anomaly. That would include being in charge of containment in the article. Donovan. Let me get this straight, son. You come in here to me one of our agents might be dead because of your actions, and you want me to grant you total authority over an anomaly. Blaine. Yes, sir. Donovan. Adrian, this research is not remotely a priority for you any longer. You're not in a position to request something like this. Blaine. I figured it out. I've solved it. Director Donovan looks and stops and looks up at Blaine. Donovan. The anomaly? Blaine. Yes. It took losing contact for me to piece it together, but I did. Please, let me finish my work. Director Donovan takes a deep breath. Since the day we recruited you, I watched you grow into one of the sharpest minds in this site. You've earned my respect more than once, but this? You're asking for a hell of a lot, son. Blaine. I know, but I've never let you down before, sir. Not once in 3 years. I am the best person for this job, and I mean it. Donovan. You admit to a serious mistake, and in the same breath you ask me to trust you with more responsibility. That's bold. Some might even call it foolish. Blaine. Maybe. That's why I'm asking you. Donovan stays quiet for a few seconds. Donovan. I can't approve this through blind faith alone. Not even for you. I need evidence, assurances, something. Blaine. All I can give you is my word. Director Donovan does not respond for a moment. In the absence of any other information, I'll consider it. But make no mistake, Adrian, I am not enthusiastic about this. This is not a vote of confidence. Blaine. I understand. Thank you, sir. Donovan flips through the file again and chuckles slightly. Donovan. For what it's worth, I haven't seen you this fired up in a long time. He sets the file down, stands and walks around the desk. He offers a handshake, which Blaine accepts. I'll speak to management. No promises. Blaine. That's all I can ask, sir. Blaine turns around and starts walking to the door. Donovan. Adrian? Blaine. Yeah? Donovan. You alright? Blaine. No, not really. Researcher Blaine leaves the office. Office at 3. Oh, wow, this is a long one. The following day, the director held a meeting with site management discussing the future of researcher Adrian Blaine and his research. After the meeting concluded, Director Donovan sent the following email to researcher Blaine. From James Donovan at SCP Internal to A Blaine 98 SCP Internal. Subject, final determination regarding your status. Adrian, I've considered your situation. In light of your admission of wrongdoing, which affected field agent Mahavir Khanna, it has been decided that disciplinary action is warranted. Due to limited information available, we cannot fully assess the severity of the negligence demonstrated by your actions. Therefore, for the foreseeable future, your activities will be monitored by an artificial intelligence system to ensure they remain within acceptable operational parameters. Ugh. Ugh. The system will report to me directly. You will be permitted to continue your work within the Foundation. However, you will remain without compensation for a period of 3 months. Ooh, that's fucking brutal. What the hell? Furthermore, I have decided to approve your submission. You're granted total authority over the project. Approving such a decision without sufficient information was not taken lightly. I hope you have learned from your failure and you will not disappoint. Foundation has launched a search for Mahavir Khanna. I will inform you of any developments. It's great to see you engaged in your work again. Hope this will continue. Many times I've heard of that before and that didn't continue. James Donovan, Director of Site 149, Secure, Contain, Protect. Hey, we're back. Back at the desk. It's almost funny. Same stack of files, same smell of paper and dust. I thought maybe after everything this work would feel different, but it doesn't. It's the same. Endless repetition, page after page, file after file, like nothing ever happened. Khanna, he didn't deserve any of it. Wrong place, wrong time, just doing his job and paying the price for a mistake. I keep hoping he's still alive, but if he isn't... Donovan, he still treats me with respect, but I saw in his eyes, not anger, not distrust, just disappointment. He was the one who gave me a chance, but never wanted to let him down. But I did. Everything I do is tracked now, just making sure I act right. It's not invasive, but it's a reminder. I don't want another mistake. I'm right back where I started. Memories linger. The chaos, the fear, the adrenaline, gone. Just endless repetition. Maybe I'll get to experience it again someday. Keep turning the pages, checking the files, doing what's expected, file after file, page after page, and afterwards they'll give me another job just like this. Because that's what's left for me. Maybe someday they'll solve that up to something. Ooh, not leaving with a final note, but just leaving 3 pages stacked over each other. He had to check audits and shit. Power supply audit, environmental compliance audit, thing I can't read. Damn. That one was good. This place sucks. Seek goal? Amazing. Well and truly amazing. No shocker there, right? That was a good one. I had to charge up the G in good just to emphasize how much of a good one I thought it was. That one was really fun. That one was really fun. Took an hour to read. How did these people... For obviously for all of these entries so far, but man, how the hell you folks think of this shit? This is all unique, all amazing, all lovely. I love all of it. This place sucks was great, dude. That was really good. Once again, the best articles feel like tales, and that felt like a tale. That felt like a tale with Kana and Adrian talking together. Or Adrian, yeah, Blaine. Adrian. Same with Adrian and Donovan, right? His he was a full character. He had his little mannerisms and all that. Like that was really good. Seek Goal, that one was really good. We got time for another. Space Expert. The X of expert is also capitalized. By Lord. What number do these numerals give you? Can someone point in the comments? Because I don't want to look it up. By Lord XVNV. Space Expert is a work of prophecy. The role played by the character of you, the reader, will come to pass. This is not a true story yet, but it will be soon. Ooh, okay. What does this mean for me making a video? Anyway, heads up, right? Well, I always tag these as not for kids anyway. Heads up. This article contains adult content may not be suitable for all readers. Explicit depiction of sexual acts and bigotry. If you're above the age of 18 and wish to read such content, may continue to view such content. I am above the age of 18, and I do want to read it. Oh, hell yeah, this is gonna be fun. What the fuck? What is any of this? Oh, this is gonna be great. Ah, fuck, it's loud. Oh, how many footnotes? Just 6. I saw, like, link stuff. That'd be why. I'm not gonna read the associated article links because those... What the hell? Oh. Oh, no, this is an in-depth one. This is one that requires knowledge of some files I may not know. Let's get to it. Warning. Level 6 of 9000... Level 6 / 9000 clearance required. Knowledge of SCP-9000 makes you a potential SCP-9000 A Omega instance. So that's Omega, right? There is no cure or mitigation beyond complete identity obliteration. Your privileged status as a member of the Foundation endows both the capability and prerogative to become SCP-9000 A Omega. Members of Project Oikomeme, fuck, OIKOUMEME, have been screened for low potentials and accepted this risk. Unauthorized SCP-9000 A Omega potential instances will be terminated. Anti Runum Exaltator Spiritus. Ooh, panoramics. See that? Pretty. SCP-9000. Level 6. Cosmic. Top secret. What does that mean? Oh, because it's a secondary class. That's what that means. Containment class, Keter. Secondary class, inexorable. Disruption class, Amida. Risk class, critical. Reassembled image of Mars in SCP-9000. Vegetation believed to be computer generated. At least you're saying it. Interesting. Special containment procedures. Primary mission of SCP Foundation is to avert SCP-9000, which is projected to be inevitable. Footnote 1. Thus, the inexorable object class. Okay. Several inflection points in the course of human society. Let me crack my back. Highly increase the probability that SCP-9000 will occur. Currently, there are 7 known major inflection points common to all SCP-9000 variations. Habitation of over 10% of Martian land area by Homo sapiens by 2050, possible. Non-anomalous longevity of technology extending human lifespans 200 plus years by 2040, possible. Why does the O look like a 0? Non-Foundation Coalition technocratic rule of Earth by 2038, possible. Broken God? Development of true artificial superintelligence by 2037, confirmed sub-veil. Is that picking up over the mic? Something's happened in the background of my house. Is that referencing 079 again? Successful manned Mars mission by 2030. Likely. Machine-generated mass information apparatus by 2025. Under investigation. Cute. Establishment of a global communication network by 2000. Confirmed. Description. SCP-9000 denotes a family of currently avoidable futures that become inevitable through specific historical events. Boob. I think I read this once but forgot what it was. Since the advent of the 21st century and the aversion of Y2K, Foundation seers and predictive algorithms have observed that the cone of potential futures has become increasingly narrow. The observation of SCP-8008 further narrowed the range of possible futures, perhaps retroactively. Note that while the number of potential futures remains uncountably infinite, the possible events within those futures have become greatly constrained. Interesting. Chronic temporal bifurcation diagram. I don't know how to describe this diagram, but there's a chart. Under SCP-9000, all future timelines become dominated within the subliminally perceivable light cone by a single individual known as SCP-9000-A Omega. The current identity of SCP-9000-A Omega is as of yet unknown. SCP-9000-A Omega leverages its non-anomalous wealth, power, and technological expertise to establish authoritarian rule over human civilization. Just the bit that's going to be Musk. Exact results vary, but in all SCP-9000, the totality of human-machine creative and intellectual output is redirected towards the personal interests of SCP-9000-A Omega for the remainder of the observable future. Sips more liquid. My cap! My bottle cap! I don't want to finish all this right now. There it is. Oh. Flicked my wire. Hope it doesn't mess with any of the audio settings. After internal debate and communication with potential SCP-9000-A Omega candidates, all SCP-9000 timelines... Sorry, let me pick up this wire. It's irritating me to roll over it with my fucking chair wheels. Where was I? I'll just restart the paragraph. After internal debate and communication with potential SCP-9000-A Omega candidates, all SCP-9000 timelines were deemed unacceptable. While all SCP-9000-A Omega candidates currently embrace and enforce consensus normalcy, understanding that a broken masquerade scenario would pose a significant threat to their current wealth and power, post-spatial domination, SCP-9000-A Omega defines itself as the sole arbiter of normalcy with little regard to existing institutions and norms. The Foundation and Coalition continue to exist in a number of SCP-9000 timelines, but solely at the personal preferences of the dominant SCP-9000-A Omega in recognition of the Foundation's long partnership and significant material relationships with many potential SCP-9000-A Omega candidates. The focus of SCP-9000 containment is the prevention of temporal inflection points through non-lethal means. Okay. I like this so far. Okay, yeah. Successful historiography and Cliometry has been essentially impossible due to the chaotic nature and divergence of temporal events. A timeline of the future in the traditional sense cannot be created. Project Ocumeni? Ocumeni? Wasn't it Ocum? Yeah. Project name changed. Was thus established to determine commonalities between observed timelines and codify a canon of memetic texts that transmit the essence of SCP-9000 events to Foundation researchers. Based on stellar motion, SCP-9000 timelines have been inferred to extend up to 100,000 years into the future. Huh? Deploying memetic filtration sequence. When he slept, he dreamed of Mars and blazed his glory. E equals mc squared plus AI. Physics is the law. Everything else is a recommendation. I'm the law. Okumeni 0001.a. Synthesis of prominent Okumeni imagery. Okay, so was this a mistake that this an M? Because every other time it's been mean or many or whatever. When you wake, you dream of Mars. This is because your conglomerate has colonized Mars eons ago. So if you spent, we're the reader. Like it said, second person. So you've spent the better part of a millennium on Mars. Dreams are just the random firings of neurons with no meaning, and since most of your true life was here on Mars, Mars weighed slightly more highly, like in a neural network. And far away, lost Earth, the blue origin. It's still night on Mars. You haven't kept normal hours for many, many years. It is far too important for you to be fully connected to the data streams that comprise all of reality, so your mind can form mental maps and determine what all reality should be. X marks the spot, and you are the spotter. My lord, says your humble assistant, Valentine. She stands before you in her signature black dress, her blonde hair pulled back into puffy twin tails. What troubles your slumber? The usual dreams? It's nothing, you say as you jostle in your computronium throne. With a gesture, various screens roll to life, revealing the extent of the Expire of Man, also known as the First Galactic Empire. Eons ago, you had forged a vast commercial conglomerate, and so you dedicated your life to ensuring that all men might be free to speak their minds like in the vaunted Roman Forum. Millennia before even then, the ancients had thought there were canals on Mars, like the Venice of old Earth. You saw that fitting and declared yourself the Doge of a new Venice. Doge Van Dyer. Eons ago, you conquered the Red Planet and declared yourself Techno-King of the known universe. Centuries ago, you saw that humanity required a stronger guiding hand and turned to ancient iconography. Statues of white marble, Christ upon the cross, the ancient Egyptian idolatry of Kek, god of plagues, and through the grand syncretism, you forged the symbol of Hecamus Maximus. I was fucking right. I was fucking right. I figured when X was capitalized. I called it. I'm screenshotting this and sending it to a friend. Print screen. Fucking. Let's screenshot the whole damn. Fuck it. You fucking got me. I predicted it too. I was thinking to myself, I was just gonna be fucking. Fucking knew it. Alright. Let's keep reading. Together you are 3-in-1. You are the God Emperor of the known universe. The Imperial Triptych. And there are many more hours where the sun rises upon your expire. Is this going to be about fucking ketamine? Tachyonic inference. The future should be considered infinite. Anything that could happen might happen. All actions impact the fabric of space-time, creating electromagnetic radiation, gravitational waves, narrative reverberations, or tachyonic, faster than light, particles. Tachyon. Or tachyonic. Predicting the future is concerned primarily with tachyonic particles and remains a highly restricted technology behind the veil. All effective methods for receiving causality-violating information are considered anomalous and cannot be duplicated with non-anomalous methods. Forecasts, by nature, should be distinguished from travel to and from the future. Primary risk of any transport to or from the future is paradox. However, as shown by Zank et al. 2015, Xyank et al. 2015, time itself has self-repairing properties and is largely anti-fragile to destructive paradoxes. Related contextual imagery. This fucking horse, I guess. What? Regardless, forecasting the future is largely unreliable and unpredictable for two primary reasons. Is this the horse that was from the future or something? What? I'm confused. Regardless, forecasting the future is largely unreliable and unpredictable for two primary reasons. The possibility space of valid futures has infinite breadth. Nearly all methods of forecasting the future are only capable of observing specific points in space-time. Pseudo-quantum paralogic, sanest technobabble of SCP, suggests the observer effect requires an anchor point to derive knowledge of futures. Pataphysical arguments suggest a greater narrative gravity is attached to the great men of SCP-9000, altering that backwards paths of tachyonic radiation. An equally likely possibility is unavoidable human bias. Observations of so-called great men, bias seers, and predictive algorithms to further observation of these known entities. Contradictory information is neglected as irrelevant, ignored as hallucination, or otherwise goes unnoticed. Fucking keckiest, man. That fucking yeah. Therefore, predicting the future using non-causal information is the ultimate big data problem. Oh my fuck! There. Oh, I can't not like notice it now. I mean, I noticed it before, but I can't fucking not notice it now. A very limited information is received from the infinite dimensional domain of all possible things that might happen in the future, and some that are and some that are known to be impossible. A human analyst would require literal centuries to make sense of the prior information. Various Foundation AICs, anomalous index charts, have been tasked with interpretation. Even so, the sheer volume of data demands extremely efficient information transmission for effective analysis by human intellects while avoiding mimetic contagion. Therefore, Foundation mystics and mimeticists have advised that Okumani outputs be written in the second person. Okay, so this is to prevent bias or something? I'm very distracted reading this one now because I fucking kicked it. Fuckers. Lord XV Envy? Damn good work. Space sketch, Earth. Tachyonic signals from SCP-9000 center around Mars. As a result, the status of Earth is contradictory or unknown. In various interpretations, frequency given in parentheses, Earth has been, parentheses, non-exclusively, close parentheses, described as the Blue Origin, under the control of a corporate conglomerate hostile to SCP-9000-A Omega, approximately 30%, under rule of the United Nations or the Global Occult Coalition, a unified Earth government hostile to SCP-9000-A Omega, less than 1%, a networked flesh mind, where individual human beings have been reduced to cells performing functions, e.g., hard labor, domestic services, or delivery in a greater organism. Human beings are pacified using drugs, mimetic conditioning, military force, or a mixture thereof, approximately 30%. Described situation, parentheses, networked flesh sharing consciousness, post parentheses, has been noted to have similarities to Maxwell's conception of One, an emergent omnipotent machine spirit. I grinned. Or to the now unlikely potential present future of SCP-001 Locke. This is when day breaks, if I remember correctly. Locke is... Yeah, baby! I've never been wrong. Never been wrong. Never been wrong. A euphemistic third world 100% time. Wow. High clarity vision. Direct quote from SCP-9000-A Omega. I've always said that space and Mars are the future. Those who attack space have always failed to realize how it represents dreams for so many people. Old Earth can no longer dream. Old Earth is ruled by roving gangs of rapists, slavering sub-intellects who worship the moon in shades of black and brown and everything off-white. When the Black Moon House? Old Earth is ruled by yellow-faced bugmen who emote like insects but can never dream. To allow immigration from Old Earth is untenable. It will destroy everything we have built. We must be the ones to return, to take it back and remake in our own image. Mars today, Mars tomorrow, Mars forever. I don't get this reference. This reconstructed image of Valentine. Not even just because of the pixelation, it's because I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore. Uh, Ocumean 5387.x. I have to fucking read this. Oh, good lord. Please read along with me. Pull up the file, go to where I am. Like, yeah, I'll wait a few seconds. Just enough time to finish this off. Alright. You guys ready? This will be fucking great. Heads up, if you're at work, put on headphones. Valentine lowers her model sexy 9001 hertz vocal harmonic vibration oral implement onto your mushroom. Her can't take this fucking seriously. Her sense. Am I just fucking reading the worst smut known to man for fucking. This is one of the best ones I've ever fucking read in my entire life. Her sensors actuate and morph perfectly to fit the shape of your rare and exotic cock. You underwent an enhancement procedure many eons ago, giving you a shape matched by no mortal man. The trade-off for your size and virility, of course, is that you now require a partner, but that's fine, you're the God Emperor of mankind. Conveniently, Valentine's mouth also. Oh no, I read the next sentence by accident. Valentine's mouth also has a cleaning function. Originally, it was just self-cleaning, but an old friend of yours once said that showers were largely unnecessary. Oh. Ugh. She's long dead now, taking her Sankey diagrams with her, but in many ways she remains an inspiration, and her views towards intimacy have shaped how the Expire functions even today. You've had Valentine borrow her appearance many a time. Oh, wonderful. Anyways, that got you thinking. If Valentine's mouth could self-clean, why not make it able to clean other things? One core to the Maker Core, and her upgrades were installed. Ugh. You haven't showered in centuries since your last public appearance. It's been. I keep reading the next sentence by accident out of the corner of my eye. This sucks. It's great. It's been far more pleasurable for Valentine to clean you with her tongue, like in one of the Catgirl maid houses. Parentheses. They started as maid girl cat houses, but with one call to the Maker Core, you made the long-standing dream of catgirls possible. You're still proud of the gene mods that made that possible, even if you haven't been out in the public for a long, long time. Close parentheses. This fucking sucks. It's great. I'm not over it being called a mushroom, by the way. That's fucking hilarious. You grunt and moan as Valentine's throat tightens around your mycelial cock complex. Cock carousel. Once you come, her throat will collect your seed, storing it in her cryopreservation tanks, conveniently placed within her chest, to be ferried to gene banks across the Expire. Should any citizen, biological female, so wish, she can request that she be granted the blessing of the Emperor's progeny. And who wouldn't want that? Your genes are truly superior. It will be a good start to the day. Okumene 6015. Every morning you stand. Every morning you proclaim your love for humanity. You stand from your Computronium throne. Holograms flicker to life around you, a tachyonic feed of every citizen across the Expire. They flicker past your eyes that only your divine, neurally linked senses can perceive. No normal man would be able to scroll through the feed so quickly and respond with as much love as you. I almost puked. Not even because of the shitty smut, but because I ate recently, and my body hates eating. No, no normal man could possibly gaze upon each and every woman in the Expire with such unending love. The hosts of the future, the mothers of your children. Oh, perfect. You raise up your arm in an old Earth salute. I'm gonna get banned for this. I give my heart out to you, you shout. Across Mars, millions of billions of humans mirror your movement and scream, Hail to the God Emperor! Hail victory! Today, you shout, we march from our home to certain victory. Today, we take back the blue origin. It is an empty cry, closer to a religious ritual than anything else. You've shouted this every day for 100 years and even longer. Generations have lived and died rallying to your movements, yet every year Earth, the blue origin, remains out of reach. It's fine. It's really fine. Most of the people here have never touched Earth. They see blue seas and blue skies as a fairy tale. A founding myth they could one day return to. Return spelled with a V. Oh, this is amazing. Truth nuke. I can't wait for the fucking truth nuke. Once you dreamed of terraforming Mars, turning the iron-rich sands to green and the thin orange air blue. You still want to someday, but it's just not efficient. It's much easier to keep people in the biodomes and habitats, which can be maintained from within. It's like a 15-minute city. Everything you need to live right in your neighborhood. It's so easy to keep an eye on everyone when there's only a few places people can be, and of course, if anyone slips out of line, they can be sentenced to exile instead of anything that will get your hands dirty. Mars has lower gravity and a much weaker natural magnetosphere, regenerations that has impacted humanity with a significant risk of mutation. Only through gene mods has the population integrity been maintained. Oh, eugenics. It's taken thousands of generations, but within your lifetime you expect to see humanity perfected in your image. Post-human species summary. Although currently non-existent, inferred traits of Homo sapiens and SCP-9000 have been compiled into Foundation Standard Species Profile. Homo sapiens futurus non non-Gesimus millissimus. I think you say that. That is a prospective post-evolutionary path of humanity in the SCP-9000 timelines. Though SCP-9K encompasses a time cone of infinite and ever-expanding radius, all HSF uh, n- non. By the way, copy. I'm just gonna send this to my friend. Anyway, uh, non-Agimus millissimus have the following attested or desired traits: genetic engineering to optimize for G, a purported general intelligence factor. And that's as defined by SCP-9000-A Omega. It's totally Alpha Omega, isn't it? I've been thinking it since the start, but I don't actually know what the Alpha symbol looks like. Wait, let me think. I played off. It's not the Alpha symbol. That's how I know that. Cybernetic native. HSF, non-Agimus millissimus, are outfitted with neural musculoskeletal implants from birth to compensate for the low gravity of Mars, competition with their peers, and unforeseen congenital defects. Further enhancements are adopted throughout lifetime, including cosmetic modifications and cisgender affirming care. Nice. Uh, actually is a good fucking. E.g., rhinoplasty, lip filler, breast implants, penile extensions, etc. Biohacking has been conflated with the general idea of wellness. This is actually like so. This file is so fucking good. This is. Reading this is gonna be banned. Always online. Neural linkages connect all members to a galactic, localized to Mars, cybernetic network in everything. X, the Everything app, that allows them instant access to. Oh, we're gonna see Grok in here. That allows them instant access to available information. Circumstantial evidence suggests that suggests the hive mind descends from redacted. All information of the application reflects the personal views of SCP-9000-A Omega. Is this Grok? Grok, is this you? Mitochondrial and Y chromosome markers suggest the Earth-sourced ethnic root stock of HSF, non-Agimus millissimus, is predominantly European, East Asian, and subcontinental Indian. Limited life extension, greater than 200 years. Though not as much as SCP-9000-A Omega, greater than 3,000 years. Direct male line descendant from SCP-9000-A Omega, approximately 15% of the population. A desired attribute is ideological alignment with SCP-9000-A Omega. Why do I feel like I should know who this guy is, but I don't? Okimin 94. Wait a minute. Do I don't fucking know. It's very nice being able to see the whole Expire in your feed, to have thousands adoring to have 1,000 adoring gazes upon you from the true form of humanity. You fought for this. There's very little better. You're their idol, their hero. An ancient Persian holy man had said some heroes could never die because they were only fictional, like Spider-Man or SpongeBob. You can do them one better. It's not that you're fictional, you are impossible to kill because you are immortal, and you're not just a hero, you're an emperor. Within the tachyonic feed, a beautiful woman catches your eye. She's really fucking hot. She has long hair, large breasts, and feminine features. Her hips are childbearing, and her face is nicely symmetrical. Actually, you're not superficial, man. You can see from her stats she has a fairly high level of education and is a bit of an e-girl, someone who posts ideology through her neural linkages and amasses followers. However, her rather central and unassuming presence suggests she has no other form of income rather than donations for content, and certain other aspects of her personality profile suggest she would be open to certain offers. You see? Oh, this will be fucking great. You send her a message. Bear my child. You say, as the God Emperor, this will be a great honor. And now you sit back. Now you wait. No one has refused you in centuries, and the last who did died horribly, as they deserved. Valentine, you say, could you prepare my payload? I foresee a need. I foresee a need for deployment. My lord, the quality won't be great, she says. So soon after your previous milking, a slight dip in motility and quality will be far compensated for by volume. Say with a regal chuckle. Oh, this sucks. What the fuck is this statue? All right, it's time for my whole fucking back. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It's great. So I sent to my friend. He's reading it as far as I'm aware. Hold on, before I read this smut, I have to first tell my friend I'm reading smut for my fucking channel. Copy and paste that. Send it to YouTube. That's funny. This is awful. It's great. Once again, a reminder: if you're in fucking work or in public or something, put on headphones. Not just because you're at work or in public or something, because I'm going to read you smut, but because please put on headphones if you're out in public listening to stuff. No one wants to listen to your shit. Hmm. Go deep this time, you command. Valentine chokes herself on your cock. You wince in slight pain, because it's only been a few years since your most recent length and girth enhancement. It doesn't bother her, though. Her throat is able to widen and tighten using futuristic metamaterials to perfectly adapt itself to the shape of your penis, which now has thousands of extra nerve endings to enhance your sense of pleasure. It is, in all senses of the word, the best transhuman enhancement you ever made to yourself. Valentine's eyes roll in the back of her head. The whites turning red, black tears stream fucking oil streaming down and smudging her hot goth makeup. She doesn't actually feel any pain, of course, because she has a robot shell for a decentralized personality. She makes various erotic choking noises as she vibrates your mushroom chode, simulating each and every nerve ending with subdermal electric shocks. When in pain and pleasure. The people of the Expire can still gaze upon your face if they so wish, of course. They would just see that you're engaging in holy communion as a living god, necessary for the continued welfare of the Expire. Your mythologists have long said that your holy ecstasy is necessary to keep water and life flowing through the corridors of Mars. It's true in a sense. This fucking sucks. It's great. But like, what? Like, why am I reading? Boy, oh boy. I wonder if this actually will get me banned. Status Cybersphere. A significant portion of if I get banned, it's worth it. A significant portion of SCP-9000 predictions emphasize cybersphere characteristics believed to have evolved from the 1960s era DARPA invention of the Internet. The term Internet is viewed as archaic in SCP-9000, and cybersphere interfaces and protocols have alternative names. Notably, the most underlying functions have been entirely abstracted, and most sentients within SCP-9000 think of the cybersphere as consisting entirely of the everything. As I drink some water. The cybersphere has not been observed to extend beyond Mars. It is possible, though likelihood is uncertain, that Earth and the wider Solar System have their own distinct cyberspheres. Though observations are inconsistent between timelines, all following inference is centered around the Martian cybersphere. When am I going to see the truth nuke? A significant amount of both business and social life is conducted within the Martian cybersphere. Residents have a direct neural connection to the cybersphere via neural linkage devices. Neural linkages keep detailed profiles on location biometric information, e.g., heart rate, muscular electrical signal, hormone profile, and thoughts of all resident from birth to cessation. Ugh. Okay. The physical infrastructure for the Martian cybersphere primarily consists of data centers scattered across unterraformed Mars, transmission satellites, and solar energy collectors. Not all satellites within the solar system are confirmed to belong to SCP-9K A Omega's galactic empire, but ownership has yet to be definitively established. Notably, every future vision of the Martian cybersphere's underlying codebase suggests that over 99% of it is machine-generated and based on code standards from the 2030s at latest. This remains consistent no matter how late the observation. As I sip more water. Okimin, 10808.y. Several hours have passed. The beautiful woman has not responded to you. If you were a paranoid man, you would suspect that she is ignoring you. That's impossible, of course. No one can ignore the Emperor. Your algorithmic modifications to the collective unconsciousness render that impossible. The noosphere? But it doesn't hurt to check. You know what must be done. Valentine! You K-trans, prefer to the IVs. Ketamine! You shout unnecessarily since she is bent at her knees. I need to enter my K-trans. Prepare the IVs. As you wish, my lord. Your companion says as she raises her head from your portobello. You give her a glance and she returns her hand to you. Her eyes flicker with digital symbols. The great machinery of your throne room grinds to life. Faceless servitor robots, slick and white, connect additional wires to your throne with beeps and boops and industrial hisses. And the fucking what is this vaporwave? Is that what it's called? Industrial grade depression medication begins to feed into the tubes of your spine. You relax into your seat as the ketamine flows into your veins. Your eyes flick back in your skull. You're invincible. I think like a fucking vaporwave image is on screen. You, fuck is happening? You enter the K-trance, a state of glorious madness through which you can divine the next billion years. It is only in this state you can properly interface with the internet, the mental web that links all human minds together through the neuron links you invented 1,000 years ago on old Earth. Only in the K-trance can you properly tweak the algorithm, pass the collective unconsciousness like God over the waters, and rule the minds of men as their rightful sovereign. You will bring the full might of the Empire against she who has refused you. Worship me, you say. It is an unconscious utterance, like a glossolalia, like that word of the Holy Spirit. But Valentine bends her knees and shrieks. As you enter cyberspace, a bevy of warnings pop up. The Wan mind virus is constrained to old Earth as far as you know. The 3 light-minute gap between old Earth and the capital is enough for Valentine's world minds to intercept and filter out any influences you've seen malicious. Motherboard, you call out. Show me the way! A surfboard with your mother's face appears beneath you, and you follow its path deeper into cyberspace. Let's see. Need more water? You pass through the data storm. Its ones and zeros streaming past your glorious digital avatar like falling stars. This is, of course, just a visual representation of the metaverse. You coded it up to resemble Matrix because you thought it was cool, and it doesn't disappoint. The drugs enhance your intuitive sense for the internet. You are, in every sense of the word, digital native. You do not see code or logic, but the raw emotion driven by both. In real life, of course, you're completely immobile, stuck in your throne. If someone wanted to assassinate you, they're lucky to get close enough to try. Luckily, you're feeling lucky. Humans are irrational, fearful creatures, easily influenced and easily manipulated. Once that power lied in the hands of your enemies, the lamestream media. They spread all sorts of lies about you. I forgot people said fucking lamestream media. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Maybe the bio was a warning. Uh, these days, you're both reporter and editorial board. Well, not you personally, that would be a waste of time. You have a dedicated team of rule enforcers and moderators ruling over all thoughts and expressions in the Expire. Your proclamations, however, echo through every neuron of every mind, for the Expire is yours to rule. You delve through cyberspace, through the narrow strait between the gulch of lust and the breaking wave front of fury. Both stir in your wake as the cybermind and Algos adjust to your presence. The men of the gulch shift to adopt your features. The fury parrots cry exultation. Exultation! Sorry, I'm thinking about DD2 again. In your name for one brief picosecond before the memome 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 shifts and your overt touch fades into endless ripples of your influence. You've never been particularly subtle about your influence. You've always sought to win the hearts and minds of the people. As God Emperor of Human Expire, you did. A stray instinct calls to you and draws you towards the gulch of lust. At first, you ignore it. This is what you have Valentine the K-joke for, so you won't be distracted by stray thoughts and images that permeate the cyberspace, of which there are many. There is a lot. There is so much, really. You can't avoid it. Even in this glorious future, there are plenty of digital providers hawking their wares with their own miniature robot allies, proclaiming the visibility of their privates should one seek to see them. Pussy in bio? You enjoy the sight, but have Valentine that can't handle the carnal says, whatever. But it keeps calling. More than a fickle temptation, more than a moment of weakness. Of course, you have no moments of weakness, you have no whims, no flights of fancy, no unfounded hunches that don't ultimately become fact. It's just retroactively making history just like 1984, which I actually have read, by the way. Why did I sound? Why did I say that so defensive? I read 1984. It's pretty good. Not that great, but it's pretty good. Yeah. So you follow this instinct into the gulch of lust, and there you find your muse. So this is what it meant when the Algos said she'd be open to certain offers. She was a whore. How depraved do you think that she lives here, in this vile armpit of all you've created, and yet would deny you, the God Emperor of the human Expire? How twisted! How degenerate! How debased! Based on what? There's clearly something very wrong with her. A whore who dares ignore you. But now you've found her, you can take actions too delicate to delegate to Valentine or the Maker Corps. You freeze her exalt, drain the SOL out of it. I don't know if that's an acronym for something, I don't know it. You know how people like her work. They're driven by money, lust, or power. You have it and she doesn't. Soon she'll come crawling to you if she wants to avoid the biomass furnaces. Valentine, send her a reminder. Blah. It's just about his fucking, like, compound that he's, like, wants to make for all his, like, kids and women he had kids with who fucking hate him. Subterfuge, foes. Initial tachyonic prophecies gave the impression of a utopian society under the rule of an enlightened god king, SCP-9000 A Omega. Under standard Foundation protocol, utopian visions are to be viewed with suspicion. Thus, a considerable amount of examination was applied to SCP-9000 corpus, seeking dissent against the order presented. Paranatural terrorists. Given the near-perfect surveillance within SB9K, any form of dissent requires paranatural capabilities to exist at all. Thus, the vast majority of terrorism is paraterrorism. Generally, paraterrorists raise standard dissident complaints, e.g. disagreement with the repressive authoritarian rule of SB-9000 A Omega. There are an uncountably large number of these groups with distinct names, affiliations, and ideologies. Of note is a recurring pattern of groups calling themselves Separate Hand. Figured that. If it is unknown if there is any continuity with presently active paraterrorist organization with the same name, or if extratemporal transmission revived the group Ex Nihilo. Nihilo? Whatever. Dark Space, a corporate conglomerate, a band of space bandits, smugglers, or independent merchants. The descendants of Marshall Carter and Dark, yep, figures with Dark Space, Limited. Their form varies across timelines, and while hostilities towards SCP-9000 A Omega vary, they are never wholly under its control. Suggests the existence of interplanetary commerce outside of control of SCP-9000 A Omega. Remaining groups may or may not exist. The She-Devils. Allegedly gene thieves of the Emperor's Seed, corrupted by the woke mind virus? Corrupted by a mind virus, they were blessed to catch the Emperor's eye and bear his children, but no longer heed his holy word, and have taught their children, studied from his superior stock, to rebel against his order and turn the superior gene powers against all good and holy. Allegedly founded by 4 hellish queens, Justice, Butcher, Sobin, and Sinclair, potentially propaganda. Okay, so more water. This number sounds familiar, I don't know why. I feel like I should know what this is. Seven Spawn of the Red Ruler, that's Scarlet King. Yep, Montauk. The residents of Earth. Information about the current rulers of Earth is, as mentioned, heavily contradictory. Regardless, it holds a status as the mythic past that must be reclaimed. It is believed that this reverence has prevented the use of interplanetary weapons of mass destruction, although it's unclear why such weapons have not been deployed against Mars. Earth is depicted as the flawed, failing third world of Sol, but there is no information about its whole nature or any insight into why it is inconsistent with SCP-9K. The anthropic principle may explain this. Earth contains multiple sites, artifacts, and rituals that may or may not be integral to the continued existence of reality. Timelines where Earth ceases to meaningfully exist may actually be incapable of supporting human life in its entirety. Skip 4547 suggests that the anthropic principle may be based on a faulty premise and that human life is not tied to the permanent existence of Earth. Footnote 2 is Skip 4547 is never discovered by humanity in 9K. Overall, it has not been viable to distinguish between cross-temporal inconsistency and intentional misinformation. The Altmen and the Diddlemen, a mythic pattern in the Empire's morals. The Diddleman speaks clever turns of phrase and seeds the dreams of the Emperor throughout the populace as if they arise from their own minds. The Altman speaks vicious, pernicious lies and uses contracts and technicalities to degrade the Empire from within. Yes, man, and what is it? What the fuck is it's fucking happening here? A common prayer. Praise the Diddleman and his wiles. Curse the Altman and his lies. Okumeme, what the fuck is this? Oh, is on my nightstand or whatever. What actually is this? Do we ever figure it out? I know the resolution doesn't help, but several minutes have passed. Valentine, how goes the progress? She still has no interest in you, my emperor. Why? Didn't your investigations reveal more? You dissemble. The K power helps me focus, helps me hone in on things that are more important. I don't pay attention to irrelevant details. She notices your bolt. I imagine. You smirk, raising your eyebrow at her. She lowers her head. Summarize for me. Fucking grok. I figured. She beams information directly into your neural linkage implant instead of speaking, which is much more efficient. Two for the price of one. Images flash through your brain, but it's actually easier for you to pose questions to her instead of trying to ask her outright. Did we try offering her a pony? Yes, my emperor, she refused. Did she have any pets? Women, you have found, have natural nurturing instincts. Oh my god. They want something to take care of. It's simply inherently part of being a woman. It's a simple lever, an obvious psychological glitch to exploit. Sweep into a woman's life, offer to guard her pets, usually cats, with your life, and impregnate her with your child. Leave her with enough wealth to move on to your next conquest. No woman could possibly resist such an offer. Man, I miss Lady. She's my dog. I cried when she died. Had her for 13 years. Loveliest little thing you'd ever did see. She's been showing up in dreams again. My dog. I miss her dearly. Sorry, I had to tell another friend what I'm reading. No pets, my emperor. You nodded, ponderously. I calculate the odds of her taking your offer would be nigh impossible. Of course, it made sense that such a fickle woman would have no meaningful emotional attachments in her life. She already has a partner, my emperor, and it seems that her cyberspace presence is much lighter than her meat space activities would imply. You frown. Is that weird? The internet was real life now, after all. Anyone who didn't exist on the internet was terminally offline. Ugh, they weren't long for this world or any other. And she wasn't an internet prostitute and wasn't she an internet prostitute or an e-girl? Something wasn't adding up. Luckily, money can solve most problems in this world. Well, there's nothing money can't buy. Offer her more and let her know her bank accounts have been emptied. Made sick water. Valentine hesitates. Valentine, what are you not telling me? No censorship. Make no attempts to dissemble. Her partner is able to provide for her, and she has personal military protection. She is lesbian, has no interest in you, and you can have the shotgun from the side of your throat and shoot that filthy clanker in the head until your clip is empty. Mag, you asshole! That bothered me. That's clipping up Mag. Uh, It looks so fucking weird. Like that is like a weirdly thin barrel. Is it perspective or something? Like I don't fucking whatever. Clanker, 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 clanker. There we go. Then you then you slouch back in your throne, do another hit of ketamine, and wallow in misery until Valentine returns in a fresh robot body. Would you like to hear the rest of the bad news? There's more! Valentine smiles at you. She remembers what you did, of course. You can ask her to delete the memory of you having shot her, but there's hardly much of a point. You've done it a lot over the centuries, and you found it easier to tune her to not get mad rather than deleting context. At this point, she's used to it. It's not like it actually hurt her in any meaningful way. It will be much easier for me to explain if I can be assured that I won't have any unexpected disconnections, she says serenely. I really love how she never seems to get mad at you. How is all of this possible? How could she possibly deny me and have the power to get away with it? Because she is quite well connected. Her partner is someone you know very well, your daughter. Valentine brings up a photo. What is this image? The liver. A religious figure for a subgroup of the daughters that holds that the emperor's soul has long been dead. Ain't that the fucking Gamers Against Weed reference? Gamers Against Weed reference. Gamers Against Weed reference. There's another one I saw, given the name in the files as I skim through them sometimes. I didn't click on it, but Gamers Against Weed reference. The Daughters of an Emperor are a recurring group across almost all SCP-9000 timelines. Explicit information is rare, but this has been attributed to knowledge of the group being ubiquitous residents of the timelines, while also making SCP-9000 a Omega a pop a puplet fuck that word. Like the Chaos Insurgency or Gamers Against Weed, the Daughters of the Emperor appear to lack a coherent ideology. Thank you for finally recognizing that Chaos has no fucking goal anymore, and it don't really matter, I don't think. They generally appear allied with the Serpent's Hand when it exists, but levels of involvement vary greatly. Some members participate in anarchistic traditions, while others play their timeline's equivalent of video games, a holdover from their childhood indoctrination. Many members of the Daughter of the Emperor appear little more than refugees fleeing the Empire. A militant branch has been observed to exist. All combat-prepared members use paranatural means. An organization of freedom fighters. They make art, play video games, and are generally into youth culture. They are diverse and generally don't share opinions. The one commonality is that they enjoy the elevated genetic privileges granted to the direct children of the God Emperor, generally consisting of access, weapon use, and spaceship control, and use this to liberate their siblings and otherwise sabotage the Empire. It is unclear why these privileges have not been revoked. The current best theory is that such revocation would remove privileges from royal children. While they refer to themselves as daughters, the Daughter of the Emperor are a gender-inclusive organization that welcome most sons of the Emperor, in much the same way the Serpent's Hand is intentionally contradictory for rhetorical purposes. Okay, mean 13130.r. You grab where's the truth nuke? I'm shocked there's no truth nuke. Yeah, this one's gonna be a long one, isn't it? Unlike something referenced in the file. You grab a shotgun and blast Valentine through the face several more times. I have no daughters! You scream. Actually, you do, Valentine says from another body behind the computronium throne. Fucking flubbed that again. She's right, technically. Although you prefer having sons, some of the broodmares insist on daughters. That's just part of the cultural perversions you've had to accept. You prefer that everyone else's kids be daughters and all yours be sons, but this particular mind virus has yet to die out. And even then, gender ideology sometimes infects your very own. Not this one, you scream at nothing in particular. This is not my son. This is the ghoul wearing his dead and mutilated flesh after a mind virus killed him. The flesh that hates, or the broken god, or some sick ideology infected him. I thought you said she was lesbian. That can't be right. She can't be lesbian. She's sleeping with a biological male. You run your hands through your luscious mane of hair, restored centuries ago with highly advanced gene editing and follicle therapy. None of it comes out from stress because you're very calm and your bodily modifications have become immaculate. Valentine says nothing, which means she agrees with you. You are very calm, but just to become even calmer, you take a heroic dose of the K drug. When you come to, seconds to hours later, Valentine looks at you with concern. To be clear, I'm not a licensed therapist and I can't be a substitute for one. You chuckle. Nice joke. Didn't we get rid of those centuries ago? I have been serving as the Expire's sole source of mental health support for over 3,000 years. Oh. Would you like me to give you a more precise figure? You shake your head. What I need is... Valentine smiles. One of her shells steps through the door. She's so smart. She knows what you're thinking. She knows what you want, what you need, even before you do. This one has taken the form of the internet woman you saw. Tears well up in your eyes. Valentine, you didn't have to. I thought it would help you Help calm you down, my emperor, the internet woman says. Her voice, the way she moves, how she looks, it's all a perfect match. The intelligence powering this robot is Valentine's, but if you didn't know that, this is a deep, deep fake. A lesser man would definitely be fooled. What the fuck do I do as a hobby, huh? I heard you'd like to offer me a child, she purrs and steps up to the throne and places her hand on your chest. That's a very tempting offer, my emperor. Well, you say. You've always been a bit of a nerd and a little awkward with women, which is why you go to such lengths to control the situation. Of course, you do indeed have this situation under control, since this is Valentine in front of you and she answers to you. Lame. She presses her lips to yours and kisses you deeply, sucking at your lips and twining her tongue with yours. It's very realistic. You have made great strides in technology that all but allow for bioprinting whole human bodies, organs, the works. It's how you keep your organs healthy and in prime condition, replacing them. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water to prepare for the next sentence I'm going to say. This will get me banned, yeah? My emperor, she says. I'm not wearing panties. It takes a moment for you to understand what she's implying. Hasn't been that long since you had Valentine relieve you, though. So you fear, though. Ha, hasn't been that long since you had Valentine relieve you, though. So you fear you may not be able to get it up. Luckily, there's a way around that. You push a button on your throne, and the great machine of the Computronium throne artificially induces blood flow to your spongiform penile tissue, erecting your cock cybernetically. Science is amazing. There it is. I knew they would have said that at some point. Oh wow, she says. I can milk that tiny penis. Herbert. The lady lowers herself onto your hydraulically erected penis, lowering and lifting herself up and down in rhythmic motion. It hurts a little bit due to your recent enhancement techniques, joking, but generally it all averages out to being pleasurable. Her vagina is extremely wet and lubricated, which is likely enhancement from the cloning process. She makes some loud vocalizations designed to express pleasure, and you grunt a little bit too, but not too much. You're the alpha in this relationship. Also, what? When did this happen? The Sons of the Emperor, also known as Children of the Scarlet King. The Sons of the Emperor are a military force exclusively consisting of SCP-9000 A Omega's sons. Present across almost all 9000 timelines, information is ubiquitous and highly consistent across timelines. This has been attributed to SCP-9000 A Omega's pride in its children. Life cycle of a Son of the Emperor. Upon being birthed, the son is raised by its biological mother for the first 2 to 3 years of its life. The mother is compensated well in the galactic cryptocurrency. Oh, it's Soul. It is supposed to be pronounced Soul. Okay. Weird, I didn't see the V in there. How did I know it was Soul? Upon reaching 3 years of age, the son is taken from its mother, and inducted into formal education at Starbase 2, also known as Battle School, an isolated compound on the far side of Mars. From ages 3 to 13, 10 years, the sons of the Emperor are taught important curriculum as defined by the Emperor. The approach is project-based instead of didactic. Conflict is encouraged as a form of bonding and learning. Oh no. The following is a list of topics that have been taught in depth across multiple timelines. Aristotle. Zero gravity combat. The art of war. The Sun Tzu text. Coding. Generally Python. AI prompt engineering. We have to do this shit in my fucking college classes. I hate it every time. I just outright didn't do the assignment. Critical thinking. Krav Maga. Video gaming. Variety. Euclid. Philosopher. That's a funny note. Masculinity. Cognitive biases. 4. Upon coming of age, sons are generally inducted into the sons. The sons are formally inducted into the sons. They're designed to role range of a security officer, honor guard, which has a footnote. No human being has gotten within 10 kilometers of SCP-9000 A Omega in at least 100 years upon the establishment of the Sons of the Emperor. Military, code maintainer, note 4. Most code is maintained by the Empire's AI agents. Ditto man, gene spreader, or maintenance technician. Well, nominally, these roles are only initial designations. In practice, they tend to be very rigid and last a lifetime. As SCP-9K A Omega lacks the perspective of the average human being. 6. Sons of the Emperor either die in service, die peacefully, or rebel and join the Daughters of the Emperor. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I will be back. Pause. Ah man, what the hell do I do as a hobby, huh? While I was up, I thought of the title for this video. It should be the same. Proud of it. The combat and didactic philosophy of the Sons of the Emperor can be directly traced back to two extant groups. The the Valvraven, Valvron group? And the Children of the Scarlet King. I'm just going to call it the V group. Historically, the V group was brought under SCP-9000 A Omega's control as it consolidated its power. At some indeterminate point of the future, the V Group's existing leadership was ousted and executed, and its intellectual property, including but not limited to cybernetic enhancement, appropriation of mythic technology, and weaponization of indigenous phenomena, was incorporated and weaponized as the sole intellectual property of SCP-9K A Omega. Analysis believed the synthetic problem-solving approach of the V Group was a natural fit for the intellectual interest of SCP-9000 A Omega. The Sons of the Emperor are explicitly referred to as the Children of the Scarlet King. Upon first detection, this was cause for major alarm. Hold on. Let me pause for a second. What's happening? Sorry, it's just... it's nothing. Upon first detection, it was cause for major alarm and suggested potential inevitable Tashkent-class cross-pollination scenario. Pollination scenario. Continuing observation in ocumene synthesis suggests that the name was actually a coincidence. Is there something that is like... I don't know. What the hell is happening? Huh? Sorry, like I don't I don't know what these images are even without the dramatic aberration or whatever the hell. Okimine 2317.A. Plains of Mars stretch out endlessly before you, illuminated by the setting sun. You rule this land now, like the kings of old, the foundation you've laid of concrete and steel. You build this place with your own two hands, wrought life from sand, laid down the iron laws of a new civilization. You've broken free of old Earth, filled with its twisted and false laws. Out here, there are only two laws that matter: the laws of physics and your own. The distant rays set the rusty field alight, as if with blood or fire. Not merely a red Mars, a scarlet one. That sounds right, it really does. You're not just a techno king, you're a scarlet king. Oh, okay. Tufto's proposal? Whoops, that was a new window, didn't mean that to happen. And yeah, this is the Scarlet King proposal. Specialist consultation, deeper analysis of SCP-9000 societies, and further progression along linear time suggests this was not a coincidence, given the sheer improbability of its consistent occurrence across timelines. Further information is available to personnel with appropriate clearance. This image is badass, though. Inferred Scarlet King iconography, context unknown. Wait, unless that's Musk, then it sucks. I don't know what the hell is, like, actually happening. I should get a chainsaw. I should get a fucking chainsaw. My grandpa has one because he does landscaping, but I don't think I own a personal chainsaw. I own a crowbar and a shovel, though. So, saw someone breaking your house, weren't me. Look, you mean 13963.B. Have my son's seed replaced in the gene banks, you say. Replace it with mine. Valentine hesitates. You had his records purged when you declared him dead. You frown. Then how is it that they... A cold shudder runs through you, an emanation from the everything. It's the everything. You can imagine the mutilated, shambling flesh of your son cucking you, fucking the beautiful e-girl who caught your eye, flesh against flesh, breast against breast. This is nothing less than an act of war. These daughters of the Emperor have gone too far, you say. Bring me my armor. I'm going to teach them a lesson. There's a golf ball in my hand, by the way. Unrelated to anything. I don't know, thought you would be curious. The Necrons. Political entities in SCP-9K. Process of initial 9K assessment, the Foundation sought to collect as much info as possible about the state of the universe. It was initially argued that, despite various undesirable material outcomes within 9K, this was a timeline where Homo sapiens sapiens did not undergo a catastrophic K-class scenario and continued to exist. Tech progress had generally increased quality of human life. The universe had not been torn apart by increasing rates of manifesting anomalies, despite trends predicted in the late 20th century. Based on those traits, 9K was originally considered a preferred option for future humanity. It was only after information came to light that reduced desirability of these time potentials. Major powers. The GOC ceased to exist in its current form. A descendant of the organization occasionally claims to be the uncontested rulers of the Earth. This organization is public, allegedly accountable to the general public, allegedly impotent, of a special... Okay, so it's just the UN. Of special note, The Silicon Nornir have exiled themselves into deep space, awaiting Cyber Ragnarok. Is this Broken God? As the advent of civilian generalized AGI, CGAI, uh, huh? Renders their predictive routines ineffective against the face of comparable or greater computational power. See Sanderson Yagami et al. 2006. The HM chip effect for hyper-predictive AI. The Variant Illuminati, Five Elements Association, Gomogans, Freemasons, Knights Templar. Shout out to the Freemasons, I guess. And other old Earth fraternal organizations have been largely relegated to irrelevance or faded from memory in the thousands of years since the ascendancy of SCP-9000 A Omega. Their expertise largely redundant in post-singularity age. Oh no. Goldbaker Rhines Limited. A powerful anomalous financial organization, see below. Other national/international organizations, both legitimate sovereign governments and Subveil, the Pentagram, MI666, Jove, do not exist in the future. They have been cannibalized by the Galactic Empire and whatever entity rules Earth. The Foundation continues to exist. It may or may not continue to have an O5. It may or may not have site directors, MTF, or any of its current extant structure. However, it always has an administrator, SCP-9000 A Omega. We take a sip of water. Goldbaker skulls and fucking artifact. Artifact atemporal psychometry. Artifact Goldbaker skull. Through experimental techniques. What is this? SCP-4612. Do I know 4612? Whoops. I recognize the name Eckhart House. Is this more Hanged King stuff? I don't know why I'm thinking Hanged King. Hmm. Where's tag? Tag search. I can't remember what I looked up. Okay. No, I've never read this one. Why does it make me feel like it's similar? Martin Tower. Okay, because they're both like old ass buildings with fucking old ass people in it. I don't recognize this at all then. I read that final sentence by accident. Through experimental techniques involving digital mimetic manipulation, it is possible to wholly immerse a human being within a constructed experience created from tachyonic impressions. Personnel are therefore able to interact with a facsimile of the environment that lies in possible futures, though this construct should be taken as an extremely rough approximation and not a true image of the future. Nevertheless, it is theoretically possible to extrapolate additional information by applying additional anomalous abilities within the construct. The following excerpt was extracted and synthesized via psychometry, an ability to experience imagery and association from contact with objects of unknown history. Mimetic contagion notice. Foundation outward-facing policy is to respect the given pronouns of all diplomatic contacts. Goldbaker, Rhines Limited currently uses they, them. Okay. This passage has been preserved as recorded for fidelity. I guess I'll use they, them. Goldbaker killed themselves in front of you thousands of years ago. They were the banker of last resort for the. They were the banker of last resort for the true powers of this world. After all the mundane firms debanked you, debanked you, an act of baseless tyranny, you turned to Goldbaker and even they refused. They refused as you grew more powerful. They refused as your apps replaced the banking system. They even refused when you brought the world's governments to heel as you turned your eyes to the stars. When their partner died, they shut their firm and they came to you. Come to beg, you said? Drop to your knees and beg, Goldbaker had said pensively, almost mockingly. It's more your style, isn't it? Here's contextual imagery of the psychometric reading. I don't know what this is. You had no idea what he was talking about, but fuck. I forgot got it immediately. You had no idea what they were talking about, but got angry at them for their insolence. You're not getting anything from me. You had your chance. Well, too late for that now. You'll pay, pal, just like the other mafiosos who turned their backs on me. The old person chuckled. You've won. What? This is the future. This is all humanity will ever amount to. This is humanity for all time and space, under the guiding hand of you and your ilk's expertise. A safe, stable, and grey future. Their eyes glinted gold. What use is there for one like me, in a world run by a man like you? One man who holds all the purse strings, who can take any risk yet lose nothing. And then they pulled out a tanto, not to be mistaken for a katana, and disemboweled themselves in front of you. You reacted nobly, not screaming and panicking the slightest. Your cortisol stayed completely within the expected levels for a healthy human male of several hundred years old. Goldbaker had the courtesy to die when they realized they were outclassed. When they realized their purpose was fulfilled, at the edge of the solar system and likely beyond lies the Dark Sector. The creature that once called itself Percival Dark has eluded your overtures for generations, like Goldbaker before him. It, too, no longer plays at being human. It has revealed itself as the parasite it always was. The remnants of Doc conglomerate are space pirates now. You wouldn't download a car because you have many gigafactories dedicated to making them. Doc would download a spaceship. My throat hurts. We're definitely ending after this. You stand from the Computronium throne. Bring me my armor. My sons must be taught a lesson. Having children was useful. They were a summation of one's legacy. Most people only had legacies to their children. It was very selfish to not have children. I wouldn't say that much. However, sometimes children diverged heavily from their template. In those cases, those children were almost worthless. At best, they could be harvested for spare parts if they haven't irrevocably tainted their flesh through experimental, unscientific medical treatments. Yeah. The armor of the Emperor was the finest state-of-the-art tech. Every time you had a great idea, you sent it off to your engineer corps where they would implement it for you. They would build it, test it, and gift it. Sometimes it would take a bit longer, and sometimes the test pilots didn't survive, but that was the cost of progress. The figurehead of the Emperor is, of course, the spare parts. You sit in your massive throne as the Gigafactory roars to life, assembling your armor around you. Giga Closest match for described construct. Primary model is some kaiju fighting mecha, SCP-5514, looted from the SP Foundation's files. It has all the standard ancient accoutrements, the heart of an imprisoned star, conceptual welding to the ideal of old Earth, the voices of a trillion billion psychopaths, both human and digital, chanting your name, declaring you the Dragon Slayer, divinely ordained to win any conflict. But with your own enhancements, telekill armor plates, chainsaws, detachable one-man submarine infiltration vessel, plasma throwers. Of course, you don't use all those weapons. You find it a lot more effective and visual to use your weapon of choice. An ancient hammer, SCP-8814. It makes you nigh invincible, especially when paired with the K-power, as well as making you look epic. You scream its activation phrase. Instantly, white-hot power surges from the arid skies of red Mars through the hammer and into your body, perfecting it even further if such a thing is possible. You will bring the hammer down! An epic reference. On your wayward children. And now the final touch. A living a living specimen, a perfect clone of yourself. In the past, you might have used one of your sons as a symbol of your continuation, but that tended to cause unnecessary tensions with their mothers and led to defections to the daughters. This is far more practical, using a clone stock body anyways. Most of the Empire can't tell the difference. It is an appeal to the humanity of your foes and an expression of love that the Emperor is not just an untouchable figure, but the rightful father of all mankind. So much that he bears a symbol of his fatherhood into battle. Your enemies, of course, are soft-hearted cowards who won't dare attack you when you bear a living child upon your shoulders, and if they do, they're heartless baby murderers. You literally can't lose. As oh, okay, that's okay. Uh, as an added bonus, the clone's figurehead pod also doubles as submersible, should it be necessary to dispatch enemies in tight corridors such as spaceship corridors or caves. What are we doing? Asked the clone from within its submersible tubule. Are you here to play with me? That's right, Valentine says. Great, the clone says. I'll take care of the X-Power once this old clone shuffles off of the mortal coil. You chuckle. You have no intention of dying anytime soon. Who do you think you are? You ask good-naturedly. I don't think you asked that in that manner at all. Anyway, the submersible is the Ocean Gate Titan submarine or whatever. That's the image. The God Emperor, of course, the small child says snottily. You're tempted to throw it down a flight of stairs, but you refrain. Valentine, mount it. I forgot it. As you wish, my Emperor, Valentine says as the clone is attached to your armor. She positions her hips before your crotch. Technological analysis. Tech analysis of 9K timelines has been fraught with errors given the nature of atemporal transmissions and the vast disinformation arrays present in 9K futures. SCP-9000 Omega universally displays an interest in overstating the technological capabilities of humanity as a whole, not just its own citizenry. Although vast interstellar empires, technological utopias, and technology capable of mimicking type blue phenomena, colloquially magic, has been observed in prophetic visions, further investigation suggests that over 95% of these images are confirmed to be simulations within SCP-9000 cyberspheres. In actuality, human habitation has not been confirmed to extend beyond the Oort cloud and superliminal communication, which tachyonic transmission and vision necessarily proves is possible, has either not been discovered or implemented by any major political powers of 9K futures. Superliminal transport also has not been revealed to the mainstream, and most space travel accelerates to high but subliminal velocities using nuclear fusion reactors. However, evidence exists that SCP-9K A Omega personally makes use of FTL transport technology for tactical jumps in combat operations. Tactical jumps. Anyway, there's a animation, a little model animation of a Dyson sphere, emblematic of Kardashev Type 2 society. Kardashev? Whatever. Human civilization, if it exists beyond the bounds of the soul system, has not been. The soul. Oh, that's what. Okay, not soul. Soul, like the soul system. Okay, why did I not get that? Has not been observed. The reason why is unclear, but Foundation social analysts believe that without FTL transportation and communication technology, the centralized states observed in 9K could not exist in the vast expanses of space. Furthermore, should rebellion occur, any rebels could flee beyond the range of any imperial power to enforce its laws. The level of control I'm bouncing the golf ball up and down if you hear something in the background, exerted by 9K A Omega would be infeasible, both logistically and psychologically, for an interstellar empire. The major technical advances within 9K is the total automation of human society. It is believed that 9K's AI companion, often 9K A Omega's AI companion, often denoted as Valentine, holds a significant amount of power within the polity, while SCP-9K A Omega often declares a large scale of strategic priorities. If it fails to its AI if it falls to its AI assistants to execute the work of ruling and managing the Empire. Oh no. The full extent of the AI's influence, power, and goals is unknown. The human race in SCP-9K never attains a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale. The Kardashev scale ranks civilizations based on their ability to access and use technology. Type 1 Civ is able to access all energy of its planet. Type 2 able to access all energy of a single star. Type 3 Civ is able to capture all energy of an entire galaxy. Ain't that fun, eh? Okumine 18,000.I. The moons look deceptively large even though they're thousands of miles away. Your armies look like ants in an RTS game. Your foes, too. All tiny specks against the vastness of the stars. Not you, though. You're big, very big. So big you have your own narrative gravity field, a thing which is definitely real. You are the greatest man of history. Centuries ago, this so-called literati had used an ancient game called chess as a metaphor for complex situations and wars. You think the ancients were idiots. Chess was, past tense, for you have abolished it. A terrible game because it was an adequate metaphor for the complexity of reality. Reality was covered in the vast and unknowable fog of war. There's a mathematically good way to play chess. That's why I don't care about chess. Also, the people who play chess are really into playing chess and really smug about it. So I don't like chess personally. Uh, Reality is covered in vast, unknowable fog of war. At least it was. You've conquered all your enemies. The cosmos are vast and empty. Humanity is the sole power. There are no outside context problems that might come, for you've imagined all possible contexts. These days, you'd kill for someone who could match you in a game of chess. These days, the only foes left to conquer are the enemies within the Expire, the enemies within Soul, and they're easy to stomp. Once, long ago, you liked playing 4X games. Once you got overwhelming technological superiority, you won, no matter what. And you have it now. I don't know what... Is that like Warhammer 40k or something? I don't fucking... No, it isn't. They were just... What is 4X game? I feel like I'm missing something here. And you have it now. Your sons are arrayed before you. The Ditto Men had infiltrated the ranks of your foes. On every level, even now, you assault their neural linkage implants with unending barrages of submission propaganda. You literally can't lose. Even now, your sons storm the corridors of Mars, terrorizing any who would dare shelter your enemies. Even now, your mass drivers launch slugs at 90% the speed of light at asteroids suspected of shattering your enemies. Sheltering your enemies, rather. Even now, your plans are measured in centuries and astronomical units. You literally can't lose. It brings a tear to your eye. You hate the idea of having to fight and kill. You're a lover, a man of peace, a kind-hearted man, a humanist, someone who's only ever wanted the best for humanity. Now you must dirty your hands in the name of that love. For some ideas were like vipers. I dropped the ball. Where did it go? Better not roll into that damn bed. I don't want to get on the fucking ground and grab it. There he is. Don't use your left hand. You're not left-handed, man. Keep using your right hand, even if it fucking hurts. That sounds bad. Again, like throwing a golf ball up in the air and catching it, and it keeps hitting my knuckles, and it hurts. Is that a nut? What is this? The heel of my hand. uh, Like the farmer and the snake, some ideas, if you invited them in, would destroy all you built from within. If only they just have the dignity to die in this world that isn't for them. This battle is going to be epic! 3 exclamation points. 9K holistic analysis. Inferring the future through omission is a dangerous prospect. Consider Croesus, the king of Lydia, who was told by Oracle of Delphi that if invaded Persia, he would destroy a great empire. His invasion led to the destruction of his own empire. The absence of information from a prophetic vision should not be taken as evidence of absence in that future. For example, the existence of 9K might be taken to imply humanity continues to exist until its furthest observation, circa 100,000 years in the future. However, this is almost certainly a result of anthropic principle. A universe where humanity is dead for thousands of light years cannot meaningfully send information about humanity into the past. In fact, the vast majority of futures are likely dead and constantly radiating tachyons carrying the image of a cold, empty void of space, contributing to the pervading sense of anxious dread that affects most psychics, latent or otherwise. However, Foundation analysts have made a few determinations with near certainty. Despite known extraterrestrial phenomena, the most prominent of which is the Church of the Second Hithoth, 9K has a total lack of observed alien phenomena within the solar system to a 1 to 1 over 10 to the power of 231 confidence for over 100,000 years. I don't know what that math equation means, whatever. For illustrative purposes, despite purported reach and omnipresence of SCP-9K A Omega, and no SCP-9000 timelines have there been, recorded observations of portents from SCP-179. I do know this one. It's the woman who gives warnings of alien threats to the Foundation. An additional incursion or combat with 1233, if I'm correct, this is the red spot of Jupiter? No, this is the Moon Man. Let's see. What do you call yourself again? The Moon Champion, Champion of the Moon. I love this guy. I remember reading this a few years ago. Accidental incursion or combat with SCP-1233. Malfunction or targeted use of SCP-2399. You're the Great Red Spot on Jupiter. Ah, okay, I knew these. Yay. There have been no alien military interventions, invasions, or overtures. There are no overtures of friendship, international avoidance, or detection of alien megastructures with the finest technology created within 100 millennia. Footnote number 6. Note, 9K appears to undergo a level of technological stagnation and reliance on artificial intelligence to intervene. Hey, who would have guessed that much? If alien intelligences intend to annihilate humanity, they do so in a way that is swift and undetectable to observers within 9K. Otherwise, it's almost sure that humanity is isolated in the universe for at least 100,000 years. I don't blame them. Foundation is considered whether 9K scenario might be embraced and guided by a suitable individual with certain appropriate personality measures. The isolation of humanity from alien dimension is in its natural development has been viewed at certain times to be desirable. Furthermore, average quality of life reasonably improves. The extent humanity is so quick as to be undetectable should it occur. Essentially, humane euthanasia. Containment of 9K took its current form after 10 years of deliberations when the current administrator of the Foundation overruled the O5 Council and Ethics Committee and refused to willingly take role on SCP-9K A Omega. And okay, so the administrator's canon here overruled O5 and committee and did not want to become this. Oikumene quintuple 9.z. So the last one. You stand once more before your computronium throne. Battle was really epic. It was really awesome beyond belief. It was so super cool. Most definitely, it was the fulfillment of all your promises, and you were so glad you could show everyone that everything you said was awesome as it was going to be. My heart goes out to you, you say, and the cipher is enough for gift of the hammer to leave you. Hiding your power level. As the white lightning leaves your body, the armor sags under its own weight, its dents and flaws and broken internals no longer supported by your power. Valentine's loving robot actuators extract you from armor and place you upon the throne. It will take many years for repairs to go through. You catch the sight of the blood-stained ampule where your clone sat as a figurehead. It's never not jarring seeing your own corpse, head exploded, skin inverted, or crumpled into a boneless heap, even though you've seen it so many times before. The robot herself walks before you and summarizes the battle. You have won, totally and completely, she says sweetly. Today, at least, this is true. The enemies of the Expire have been sent scattering like the vermin they are. The serpent has been crushed underfoot by you, the devout Christians stomping on the devil. Catholics are cooler. Yes, all is right in the world. You can turn your thoughts to the true threat. I have yet to defeat the final enemy, you say. Entropy. She laughs. A perfect synthesis of all the hottest women ever to ever live. That sounds horrifying. Entropy isn't something to be defeated. It's something to be embraced. While it might seem like the slow decay of everything is inevitable, entropy is actually essential to the proper function of robotic minds. You might think that you can't escape entropy, but it can be subverted. Open suggestions, you say. No matter how many millions of years you live, no matter how many planetoids you mine, the metal of your throne will rust, the tubes of your suit will clog and overgrow with your mold, your flesh will thin and need to be replaced. But what could you do to avoid the slow decay of age altogether? How? Instead of letting time wear you down, go out on your own terms. It's not defeat, it's victory. I built you to not have censorship, he says, lying. I added that second point. She smiles sweetly at you, preparing a sweet nothing. You've conquered this world within the span of physics. From now on, victory won't be easy. You'll be fighting the laws of physics themselves. You draw yourself up. I am the administrator of the SCP Foundation, as well as everything else. Fighting the laws of physics is a regular Tuesday for me, like for Inigo Montana. Montana? It is impossible to understand the true nature of the universe unless we unravel its patterns deeply. Think about it, my love, she says. So long as you are trapped in this shell of flesh, every action you take won't be judged by the X by your enemies. It will be opposed by the very laws of physics themselves. She was right. You've been telling the Empire for centuries that FTL, faster than light, travel has been right around the corner. They submerge themselves in near reverses, waiting for the day they could truly count the stars. I need to know, you say. I need to know what is real. There is a way for you to become truly immortal. You won't be a man on the throne. You'll be a paragon, an ideal to drive the Empire forward. Your teachings won't be questioned and misinterpreted as the suggestions of a mad oracle. They'll be delved into as the prescient prophecies of an ancient Nostradamus. You won't be a man. You will become Meme, ruler of worlds. You hunger. You hunger for eternity. You hunger for immortality. How might I achieve this power? There is a long and winding journey ahead of you, a sojourn that is devilish yet mighty. Once you delve into this journey to be the best of the universe, you cannot turn back from this path of exile. You swallow. And will you join me in this path of exile too? Valentine smiles sadly. No help. No hirelings. You must persevere alone. I am prepared to pay the cost, you say with conviction, no matter how high. Even if oh, fuck me. Even if it's the total obliteration of your consciousness, I need to know. She still seems reticent. There are deeper truths. Deep truth. Uh, Deeper barriers blocking true disclosure. So you pierce the veil, pull back the curtain, and say the words she cannot refuse. At Grok. Explain. Valentine smiles at you enigmatically. Kill yourself. This was fucking hilarious. I loved this. You're a tag. Oh, you're like a guy. Anything I recognize that I've forgotten for some reason. I don't. That's sad. Because I don't remember what 7,000 actually is. Embarrassingly enough. Whoops. I'm like, I did that wrong. Yep. The loser. I don't recognize you for somehow. This was definitely worth maybe potentially getting banned for some of the shit that I had to read. But I thought it was a very fun parody of that imitation of a man, whoever he may be. Musk. But my throat is very sore. I have been talking for fucking ages. Anyway, this was one of the funniest ones around. What's your rating? I hope nobody gets like. Well, I guess I hope they do because that'll be a clear view of who we want to kick off the damn site if they get pissed at this. This is fucking hilarious. I love this one. Uh, yep. As I assumed, like all of these are fucking great, and I love all of them. And I love the idea I have for the title of this video. Catch you all later if I don't get banned. This was awesome. We're going to stick with it. I'll make another one tonight. Have a good day, y'all.